Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Good to see all of you, and welcome to another episode of Codex Legendarium. As you can see, we are down two twins tonight, so Rose and Flo will not be with us this week. Schedules permitting, they should be back soon, and we'll get to what that looks like in game. But you'll see. In the meantime, before I get to the recap, Justin, any channel announcements before we get started?
Just pretty much the same one as usual. We have a link tree. You can find all of our links. That's Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Facebook. Facebook sucks.
Do we have a Facebook?
Yeah, I think so, but I never update it because Facebook's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And we have a Patreon, and then we raise money for Color of Change through our Tiltify. And that link can all be found there as well. I'm also trying to branch the channel out a little bit because it is just D&D streams right now. And I mean, there's more out there, so I've been working on streaming some video games as well. And I was streaming through a playthrough of Dark Souls 2 because there's an event going on and people are coming back to play it. But the servers got taken down because of a exploit where people could hack hack into your computer and do stuff. So it'll just be single player.
That's some bad coding.
What game?
Dark Souls 2.
Yikes.
The same netcode they've been using since like 2011, which works fine. It's great netcode, but an exploit was found recently, and all the servers are down, so it'll be solo Dark Souls playing offline. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe. I might not even do it. Maybe I'll do a Skyrim playthrough. Anyways. Yeah, announcements. Done.
And in addition to announcements, does anyone have anything they would like to promote? Perhaps an Etsy store or something?
That feels targeted. I have an Etsy store. It's called the Cozy Corvidier, and I can get you guys some assets over soon so that we can have something to show if we wanted to. But yes, on Etsy, the Cozy Corvidier, I sell warm weather items and other fun art crafts. So check it out if you want to.
Right. So that brings us to the recap from last week. We started off in the midst of the party's travel across the frozen tundra and heading towards the mountains, where they were going to rescue the queen's son from a witch who had kidnapped him. They started off last session looking over a pond that had some oddly targeted items frozen into the ice, which none of them trusted even a little bit, which the DM was a little bit disappointed about, but completely understanding of their skepticism.
I feel you're
I kind of want to see where you were going there.
I'll tell you, it was a water elemental hiding underneath an inch of ice, and if you had fallen in, it would have been bad news. But yeah, so they just immediately skirted around it and left. Some detect magic was cast. They determined that all of the items in the ice were illusions, targeted and like pulled from their thoughts and memories. And a good chunk of the ice itself was also an illusion. So like anything past like an inch was illusory ice and was actually just water, so it was much thinner than it looked. They made their way. They kept walking, made their way across the snow and ice, made their way to a structure at the base of the mountain, which they discovered to be a Draconic Union structure. And the general consensus of the party was that because of the way it was kind of sitting and because part of it was broken off, was that where they found it was not where it was originally built, and that it had in fact tumbled off and fallen from somewhere higher up on the mountain. They spent the night in there and also discovered that a massive sphere in the middle of it was some kind of magic amplification device that essentially upped any spell cast through it. Like it was usable as a stationary spell focus, and any spell cast through it was pretty much just upped right to 9th level and then some. Like spells like Bless had their 9th level effect in addition to being amped up even further. Like the die, instead of being a D4, it was amped up to like I think I said like a D20. It was ridiculous. Made magic stupid powerful, and everyone had their own opinions on that, like how it could be potentially used for war and what it was used for and why it's down here and whether or not the witch uses it and all sorts of fun stuff like that. They spent the night there, and then the next morning started their climb, during which they avoided an avalanche and then also got attacked by a group of Yetis climbing up a frozen set of waterfalls. The Yetis made use of the Shape Water spell, which actually Montblanc would know. Like Yetis don't normally have magic. Yetis don't normally have access to magic. Usually, they're intelligent, so like any intelligent creature, they are capable of learning magic. But it was also revealed when Princess cast Comprehend Languages that they, through what they were talking about, they had been ordered by someone they referred to as her or she to capture intruders alive and bring them back. So I think the consensus was they were working for the witch, and if they don't normally know magic, but the witch is truly a witch, she could potentially have bestowed some onto them, like a warlock patron. Then they made their way up to the top of the mountain. They saw the fortress of the witch, which I think at one point someone mentioned like the witch may be living in a hut on top of the mountain. It is not just a hut. It is a multi-section massive fortress at the top of this mountain. There is in fact a hut, which is kind of like a safe haven for the party. They found it with a magic circle cast on it and like made permanent, which is a spell that's meant to keep out evil creatures and spirits and other things like that. They entered in and it did nothing to keep any of them out. Found a skeleton wearing armor and holding a broken, rusted out sword, and also as well as 6, I believe I said, potions of healing, which Montblanc handed out to everybody in the party. Everybody got one. And right as they were about to kind of like continue making plans or figure out what was going to happen next, a strange wavering portal in the air that kind of resembled the gate spell opened up behind Viktoria and Galina. And remember how I said that only Viktoria got sucked through? For scheduling purposes, Viktoria also got sucked through. So both of them, it was Viktoria managed to stop Galina, or Galina managed to stop Viktoria from getting sucked through, but then once Galina was gone, anything protecting Viktoria from getting pulled through was gone, so Viktoria also got pulled through as well. So all of you are just kind of standing there in this cabin after a warbling, wavering, clearly malfunctioning spell, disturbed by both their decks of cards and the magic surrounding the hut, and looks like something else too. Disturbed the spell significantly and just yanked the two of them out of here to who knows where. So that's where you're starting off. That's the beginning of things.
Yikes.
Did all of us hear that voice?
Yes, all of you did. Yeah, the voice was audible to everybody.
That wasn't a question. That was role playing. But thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will just so everyone's informed for when they give their answer.
Yeah. What just happened?
Prince is gonna open up the door of the hut. Just like look around, see if there's any like disturbances outside as well.
You don't really see anything outside different out of the ordinary from what was there.
Tedros immediately casts Detect Magic and is just looking at the spot where that Viktoria just got pulled through.
Okay. I'm trying to remember if you know what, that was a very powerful spell and some stuff was going on, so I will give you I'll look up at some point whether or not a spell should leave residual magic after it's cast. I don't think it should, but in this case I'll give it to you just because like there was enough weirdness going on that there's some residual magical energies there. Are you casting it with a spell slot, or are you casting
He's casting it with a spell slot.
Ritually?
He's not waiting.
Okay, if you cast with fast enough with a spell slot, then yeah, like it's fading and it's like almost gone by the time you cast it, but you can detect powerful conjuration magic from that spot.
Well, the voice sounded similar to theirs in terms of accent, so it's probably someone from where they're from.
From AR.
No, they are not. from there. They're not from there.
They're not from Aor.
Well, that's where they've been living for the past 5 months, but clearly there was something before. They don't remember. Uh, Tedros, did Victoria tell you about the note that they found? I don't know
No,
if
what
Galina told
note?
Victoria about it. Galina told me that when they woke up from whatever, before they lost their memories, there was a note that said he is coming and
I actually don't remember if they told me.
Well, that's the first I'm hearing of it.
and I guess I performed. It's not exactly a spell, but I just a bad omen from that note, and I think that voice is the same to me.
What happened to?
His internet's been dropping out all night, so
Oh,
I'm the DM now.
it's broken. Hello, welcome back.
Oh, welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, my internet's doing poopy today. Sorry about that,
I'm
folks.
having a little bit of trouble hearing Bennett. Is anyone else?
Oh yeah, actually a little. I thought that was just me.
No, it's yeah.
Oh,
Burn it all. Let's just burn it all down.
oh no.
I was
Stupid
connected
internet.
to the wrong mic. Is that better?
There we go.
Oh, that's much
There
more
we
clear.
go.
Yeah,
it
there we
sounded
go.
like you were underwater.
It was connected to my camera.
Oh.
That'd do it.
That happens all the time. I get it. All right. So notes.
No, okay. I'm going to assume that Victoria did not tell you about the note.
No,
because I'm
she
also
did not
sure
tell me.
Nope.
Galina. Okay. I don't. What kind of magic was that?
Conjuration. It encompasses a lot of different things. Mostly it creates things, but sometimes the thing it creates is a portal.
Well, yeah, we saw 2 portals.
3, I guess, because another one popped up after we. Ah!
I don't feel like I have the mental facilities to deal with this right now.
But if the accents are the same, I mean, sure, maybe they talked like that before the 5-month period, or maybe they talked like that only after the 5-month period. But those people definitely talked like they were from Aor.
Well, none of the other Aorians spoke like that. Speak like that. I think that's definitely a Galina and Victoria and
Yeah.
a him thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of you, the only people you've ever heard with Victoria and Galina's accent has been Victoria and Galina. Nobody else has used that accent until the 2 of them, and then this one new voice.
Yeah, that didn't hit for Yulyanya. That didn't connect though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I keep. Y'all
think,
keep saying things.
I also don't
In
think.
roleplay.
I also think most of the characters, at least me, didn't know that they came from somewhere else, not Aor.
Mm.
They definitely had. We remember when all of you guys were
No.
trauma dumping before we left.
There was like the 5-month
I don't
period.
remember a lot.
I told everyone.
I don't remember a lot.
Well, apparently they're only 5 months old because they woke up like in a weird place
Okay.
without any memories.
All right, so that's 3 people we know of that have the journal accent. So.
Except we don't know the third person. The journal.
There's nothing we can do about it, at least right now, and.
So then, where do we think that they're from?
It just doesn't matter right now.
It definitely matters. We just can't do anything about it.
I mean, it doesn't.
I mean, if we knew where they were from, then maybe we could go get them if someone is talking in their accent who pulled them through a
Of course,
portal.
certainly, but we also were given a task.
Yeah, and there's a child up on this mountain somewhere, and that's a little more pressing to me personally.
Oh, yeah, the child.
Yeah, that's a little more pressing for at least me personally. And I'm not saying what happened to Galina and Viktoria, didn't remember their names for a second, isn't important or anything. It is, but the child takes priority, for me at least.
I'm worried about them, but I don't think there's much we could do except for just
Yeah.
keep carrying on and save the child.
Yeah, there isn't much we can do.
You're right.
You know
I
what?
know that you're
Actually, I'm gonna do something really stupid. I'm gonna get down on my hands and knees because I have this
Mhm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sniff the floor with advantage.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Yeah, this is, and for Montblanc, this is kind of like I'll say that this is. Yeah, I don't know if you necessarily fully, the level up was a quick thing. I don't know if you fully processed the change yet. So maybe just like this is an instinctual thing of just like, maybe
18.
wait, I can smell something.
Stuff smells weird.
All right. Yeah, you can kind of like sniffing around, you can smell the familiar scents of Galina and Viktoria. And you can kind of like trail it back to the door and then lean outside. And if you do that, that smell kind of trails off, like fading in the direction you all came up from. But then, like on the wind and out in the air, you don't smell it from anywhere else.
All right, worth a shot.
What? Is that like a wolf thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to be sniffing the ground anytime soon. Do not ask that of me.
You tell me what happens. I don't know what this process is.
I would sniff the ground, but I don't think that I could smell anything.
There's nothing of note. It's just the scent of everyone coming up the mountain this way. So
You can smell all of that?
yeah,
Have you always been able to smell that?
sort of, but not. It's starting to get a little more potent, which is interesting.
Yeah, but I thought that Monty and Princess were wolves, right?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't necessarily. Well, I don't. I mean, is that a thing that all werewolves have? I don't.
They're from different packs. I don't.
Certain paths. Mine's more of an order.
An order of werewolves.
Yeah. Sort of. Taught me how to hone my abilities and use them without hurting my friends. Anyways, it just feels like I can smell things and hear things a little better than I could before.
So did that help at all?
Nope.
Did you smell anything?
Like I said, I smelled us walking up the mountain, basically.
Well, I don't think they would be portaled away to down the mountain.
No, exactly.
It probably
Right.
wasn't the witch, given the protection this place has.
Well,
Yeah.
plus the person had that accent.
I haven't met the witch. I don't know what accent she has.
It'd be real weird if the
Because
witch had
why
the
would
same
the witch
accent.
just randomly have their accent?
Well, if she's been around for hundreds of years and maybe they
Mimicry,
got thrown through
yeah.
time.
Mimicry, luring people in with familiar voices and accents.
But that sounded like a man, didn't it?
Like, yeah. But
Okay,
also,
well, I don't know.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember. You told me people can just lie.
Yes,
Yep.
Maybe it was a woman.
right, but also, for the record, people can lie, but lies should not be used to hurt others. They should be used to help others.
Why would I want to hurt anyone? Well, I
Oh.
guess if someone hurt me first, or if they hurt you guys.
There are reasons. That could be one or two of them.
Yeah. I lie a lot.
You lie a lot,
Oh,
Monty?
yeah.
Why?
To protect my mother.
Oh yeah, you have a second identity.
Yeah, my mom's an elf, so uh, she's dealing with some shit where I'm from. So I don't want her to, you know, get hurt by people that are trying to hurt me and find me. So faked my death, or technically, I lied about who I am. So
I suppose sister does tell me that it's okay to sometimes say things that are not the truth if it's going to keep the troop in good favor.
While this is going on, Priscilla's gonna like stand at the door and like look at the fortress that's there. I was like looking for like from where she's standing, like entry points and things like that.
All right. So what you've got in front of you is basically this hut is kind of like right on the edge of the cliff. Not like right on the edge or anything, but like kind of there's a slope behind it that goes down the edge of the mountain. The mountaintop up here kind of does like narrow down, so it narrows down fairly considerably, and has a like hedge-filled frozen garden between you and the fortress. And on the other side of that, you can see what looks to be about a 30-foot wall with a gateway. And just from what you can see poking over the top of the garden from here, you might have to like kind of grab like the edge of the roof and like pull yourself up so you can see a little higher. But from there, you can see that there is like a big open gateway with a portcullis, but the portcullis is up and the gates are open. And then past that, it looks like there is a very large chasm, and you can see the barest bit of a bridge connecting the section of fortress that's in front of you to what looks like the main body of the fortress, which like towers up into the sky, like stands up huge with like one central spire, and the whole thing is just coated in ice.
Okay. Does the gate like look like it's been like used often, or it's just like open always?
It's just completely open. If you would assume the actual gate doors, if they are still there, are like open inside. But for right now, you just see an open archway.
Okay. Okay. Princess will come back inside and close the door. I guess the only thing to do is I'm assuming you all would need rest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose.
We should rest, yeah.
Right. Were Galina and Viktoria portaled away with the healing potions that they were given?
I'll say that those were with their stuff that got left behind.
Okay.
Because the portal only took the people.
Yeah, the people and the cards.
Mm.
The cards, like, because Galina's cards were actually laid out on the table in front of her, and like when she got sucked through, they like almost like fluttered after, like sucked up by a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
we might be dealing with someone called Dyson. So, I take,
Not me wondering who's Dyson and then
Yeah.
getting it.
I take 1 psychic damage. You all can hold onto their stuff if you want. Or we can leave it in the cabin. They're at least like they're non-important things.
Oh,
I don't think we would it would help to bring it in.
The potions
I can't
maybe.
carry that much. The potions, yeah, but I can't carry
Yeah,
that much.
I don't want to carry a bunch of equipment that isn't mine, just because. Yeah. Is there like a trap door or a bed or anything?
There's furniture in here, definitely. Yeah.
Just gonna kind of
There's like a
push,
table, some chairs.
push stuff under a bed if there's a bed.
Yeah.
don't do. And Tedros will like take it and start like folding it up and putting it back and stuff.
Yeah.
Should we just camp here and sleep?
I mean,
Well, it's safe
Yeah.
enough.
there's a
as-
circle too, so
Yeah. Given that none of us, I don't think, get portaled away, I think it's relatively safe here.
Maybe we should do watches then, just to make sure no one gets portaled away.
Yes, but there's so few of us now, we can't really take turns.
Yeah, we can.
We just
Or I
do
mean, we
it
have to
alone.
take turns. I mean, we can't stay together.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I don't.
Okay, I'm fine.
You
Are
sure?
you sure you?
Yes. Yes, I'm fine.
I could take first watch.
I'll go second.
Do third.
Um, if we, if we're, if we can, if I can just get a little bit of extra rest, then, I can stay up with you. We'll just take an extra couple hours or so.
It's okay. I'll be fine by myself. I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, Tedros, you can just get some sleep. Thankfully, the mechanics only need 6 hours for a long rest and 2 for downtime, so we're good.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So y'all start taking shifts and getting some rest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. The cabin does have windows, so you can actually look out. The curtains were drawn over them before, but you can like pull them apart and peek through them.
Yeah.
They're pretty ratty and like old. You're not sure how long this place has been here, but like given the fact that the body in the corner has been reduced to a skeleton and the armor and sword are like nearly rusted to practically worthlessness before repair, probably been a while. And Tedros, if you wanted to look at that during your watch, because I remember you mentioned last week wanting to take a
Yeah.
look at those.
Yeah, he
Okay.
wanted to take a look at it and see if there's anything that could be salvaged from it. Like if
Okay.
it was, if any of it could be even vaguely usable.
Okay. Let's see. Going in order of watches, I'll just ask for a brief summary of like what kind of how you're taking watch for each of you. So who is up first? Okay. So everyone else goes to bed. Princess, it's still pretty light out. Because again, you're the weird schedule of there only being like a handful of hours of darkness at night. So are you just like staying up, listening for things, looking out the windows? What do you like? What's your
Princess will look out the window and just try to track movement because the hut looks fine now, but it has scratches all over it. So there's something out there. Just looking for anything that would have been like that or movement from the castle.
Tarask.
Give me a perception check then, as you're just kind of looking out and looking for movement.
Okay. That is math. That's a 24.
Oh, okay, all right. So you notice a few things, especially since it's light out. You notice a few things from the two kind of features closest to you, which is the garden and then the walls. In the garden, you can see just like it's hard to tell exactly like from outside, like where things are depth perception wise, but you can definitely see some kind of shape moving around in the garden. And it moves like it's walking. But you can but it definitely looks like flowers and vines and like other frozen plant matter is kind of moving with it. So it's either like coated in those types of like it either has plants growing on it or it is made of plants, whatever it is that's just kind of like making its way around in the garden. And then you met this other one is a very, very brief thing that you catch, which is you notice like a flock of winter birds just comes like flying over like in their migratory pattern and starts like circling around and landing near like circling around like they're gonna land, and then one of them lands on the outer walls of the fortress, and it's a very quick motion, but with the 24 you notice it, You notice that there are statues along the wall, kind of pretty regularly spaced. You can see like 4 of them from here, and like 2 on either side, 1 on either side of the gate, and then a few more further away. There are these like hunched creatures, hunched horned creatures with wings, just like in frozen poses, and you just see a bird land next to them, and then just like it moves just with like lightning speed and just like smashes the bird into just like a puff of feathers, and then just goes back into its frozen position, and the flock like takes off and flies away.
And those are on the wall,
Yes.
the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what I see? Okay. Yeah. So basically just for the rest of her shift, she's gotta like look over there and then just look at the spot where Galina got pulled through. Just keep on looking back and forth.
Okay.
Until her shift is over.
Okay. Then who is second?
Monty.
Okay. Montblanc. So Princess wakes you up in time for your shift. By the time it's your shift, it's like the beginning of your shift, but it's getting dark.
Anything exciting?
Before I go to sleep, I'll pull Montblanc over to the window, and explain to him basically what I saw on the wall and over the garden wall.
All right. Okay.
I don't think it's gonna come out, but just eyes and ears.
Yep. Thanks.
Right.
All
Good night,
right.
Montblanc.
Yeah, good night. I peek out the window.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check while you're peeking out the window. See if you can spot anything.
Not great. 7.
Okay. Nothing. It's dark. You have dark vision, but it's not very far, so you can't really see
Alright.
too many details. So you don't really see much on your watch.
All right, I'll light my pipe, smoke it a
Okay.
bit. Actually, before I wake anybody else up, I'm gonna go outside, but not like super
Okay.
far, like maybe with like 3 feet from the front door.
Okay.
Scoop up some snow,
Mhm.
hold it in my hands, and then walk inside, holding it still in my
Okay.
hands, and just kind of wait for it to melt.
Okay.
And then holding like water in my hands, I'm just gonna say, let's see, feeling a little differently lately. Anything to say to ease my discomfort about things, perhaps?
Right. Let's see. Oh, and you are asking your.
Oh yeah, the one who speaks out loud
yeah.
all the time.
Oh yeah.
And
Let's-
respond quietly. People are sleeping.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, just one word. This one you're not sure if it's in your head, but no one else moves, so it's either quiet enough that no one else hears it, or it's just in your head. And it's just and kind of in an affirming tone, just curse.
Yep, that's what I thought. And then I'll drink the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then wake up Yule.
Okay.
Howdy.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Hi. It's my turn?
Yep. Princess pointed out some weird stuff near the fortress.
What weird stuff?
Feathers.
There's feathers?
And like something walking around.
There's someone walking around and there's feathers? Wait, there's people outside.
Yeah, but we don't want to deal with them.
This game of telephone.
Okay.
Just be careful.
Well, you get some sleep, and I will be here, and I will make sure that we are safe.
All right, and I prop myself up against a wall, flail unfurled just in case, laying across my lap, and I go to sleep, sitting
Okay.
up.
All right. That'll bring us to Yule's watch. How was Yule taking watch? On her first watch alone.
How far off the ground are the windows?
They're low enough that you can see through them. You have to kind of like stand up and like kind of do this a little bit. But...
I imagine Yul is just pressed up against the window with her eyes like wide open, trying to figure out what's going on with these feathers and people outside, and like probably going like from window to window, like
Okay.
like in a little. And she's got like a little routine where she's like pacing every 15 minutes.
I imagine she stays there. It's just like she's like standing there, face pressed to the window, and it looks like this, just. Just wiping the condensation off the window as it fogs up because you're so close up to it.
And she's opening her eyes so wide because she thinks that'll make her see better.
All right, give me a perception check for your watch.
Jesus Christ. Oh, 18. Well, and I add what to that? Perception.
Perception.
So a 20. A dirty.
Okay. All right. Sometime in like the middle of the night, while you're on your watch, because you're in like some of the darkest part of the night here.
Wait, are you telling me holding her eyes open wider actually helped her see better?
It might have. It's hard to say. But there is a point when the moon passes behind the the highest tower of the fortress, and as it does so, kind of illuminating it from behind, kind of like outlining it in the silhouette, you can see what looks like a humanoid shape climbing around on the outside of the tower. But based on the distance that you're at, it looks like it would be about like 40 to 60 feet tall. And the way it's climbing and moving, it doesn't look natural. Like, it has very jerky movements, and it looks like instead of climbing like this, like its arms are kind of like up, almost like they're attached at the wrong angle, kind of like making it like quadruped appearance, just like climbing and crawling around the outside of the, like you can see it silhouetted by the moon before it just kind of like goes around the backside of the tower.
So Yul just feels goosebumps like from the nape of her neck down her body to her toes, and is like, that doesn't seem right. How into the shift are we? How far into the shift are we?
It was probably about halfway through.
Okay, halfway through the shift. Do I tell them? Do I wake them? They need to sleep. It's not that they're attacking us. They're just over at the tower. But it is unusual.
The tower, I will tell you again, the tower is like, it's garden, wall with like another section, like a section of building, bridge across a chasm, fortress, and then the tower's like the furthest thing back away from you.
So it's not anywhere near us.
No, it's like off in the distance across an entire chasm from you.
Yeah. She's just gonna like stay there panicking about whether or not she should wake people up, but thinking she probably should let them rest. And so she just kind of watches the creature do whatever it's doing until Tedros wakes up.
Okay. And then, yeah, Tedros probably wakes up pretty naturally because you're the one that gets a consistent, just solid night's sleep.
Hey, you all right?
Hi.
Wait, what's up?
There's something unusual happening, but it's not close.
Wait. Oh, okay, wait.
That.
What's not close? What? And he looks out the window.
For right now, you don't actually. By the time you're waking up, like the sun is coming up, and it's kind of harder. It's even things aren't like highlighted as much as they are, and you don't see anything like. And you don't see the thing over on the tower anymore either. It was like kind of just like that one little pass that it made that you saw it, but now it's gone.
But I saw it. It was there. There was a thing. There was a thing climbing up the tower over there, and it was huge. Like, not just huge because I'm small, but like huge For big people, it was really, really, really big.
Okay. All right.
And it was climbing and crawling and unusual.
Well, there are a lot of unusual things up here. I think we're gonna find. We'll figure out what we're gonna do about it then.
Okay, but I shouldn't have woken you guys up.
It's okay if you don't know. If you need to be sure, it's okay. I mean, our timetable. We have one, but it's not. We have time, so it's okay.
You look
if
better
need-
after you slept. So maybe it's good that I didn't wake you up and we can all sleep. And then when we get there, we can deal with whatever it was.
Yeah. But we'll be ready thanks to you.
Okay, I'm going to go back to sleep now if I can.
Yeah.
And she'll just kind of wander off.
Okay. You go lay down and get sleep, and then Tedros, you get your 2-hour watch time in. Did you want to take a look at the armor and the weapon and see what you can salvage?
He'll give it a once over to see what could be done with it, but he's not going to work on anything while anyone's like.
Okay. Yeah, it's
asleep.
gonna working on it is gonna take more than just field tools. It's really badly rusted. It's really badly like tarnished, and it's just been sitting out, and like you can tell like some moisture has gotten into this place and everything, so it was like very poorly preserved. However, what is there is very finely made, and it definitely has the look of some high quality craftsmanship to it. You can kind of it's one of those things like you can kind of extrapolate, like given enough time, like you can kind of extrapolate and see like what the details are kind of piece to piece, but from how badly degraded it is right now, like just looking at it, you can't necessarily tell what kind of style it's in, but it does look like it's very very well made. Both of them very well made. They're kind of like a matching set, probably made specifically for this person. So if you're pretty sure given enough time and materials, and again with the application of the mending spell as well, could be gotten back up to working order. It's just going to take some time and resources.
He'll just take some time to look over that and just make notes about it, and then put his stuff up and thinks about trying to do some other research, but he just can't really focus right now, and just he takes up a spot, and if he hears anything he'll look out the window, but otherwise he just kind of positions himself in the room so he can see everyone who's still here and keep an eye on them, and probably stare a little bit too long at the spot where he last saw Viktoria, and just feel very shitty about everything.
All right. So eventually everybody else wakes up.
Yeah.
You get your full night's rest and wake up in the morning. Tedros, you just all you hear throughout your watch is just like the blowing of the mountain winds going by outside the windows, rattling them a little bit.
Princess gets up immediately, goes to the window again, and tries to look for that same thing that was moving in the garden earlier.
Okay. Give me another perception check to see if you can spot it.
Oh, 24 again.
Okay. Yeah, you can spot it. It's harder to see at this point because it looks like it's farther in, but you can definitely spot it moving around. And also just looking at it, it kind of looks like the garden is basically kind of set up like a hedge maze.
Right. Don't know what the hell that is. Did you catch eyes on it last night, Montblanc?
No.
I think Yulyanya did that. It was
Hearing
like
everything,
crawling over
Yulyanya
the.
would be waking up and walking over.
She said it was like crawling, like it was like big and crawling on like the far spire out there.
There was a giant last night, and it wasn't in my dream. It was real. I saw it out the window.
How? Where? In the garden?
No, on the tower. It was climbing up the tower, and it was huge. Like not huge because I'm small, but really, really big.
Like how big would you say?
Hmm.
How big would you say it was?
Well, about the size of something really, really big.
Does
Got it.
does the
Yep.
thing in the garden look big enough to be able to climb the tower? Like,
Not really, no. Like the garden itself is like the garden walls, like the hedge maze in the garden is not, they're not very tall. Like they're maybe like 10 feet tall, and it's just like what you're seeing is just like, it's like a couple of plants and flowers just like sticking up, just kind of like moving. So it's like barely tall. It's like not even as tall as the walls, except for just like a little bit of it that sticks up over the edge.
I don't. Prince still looking out the window. With eyes on the thing moving. I don't think this is big enough for Tedros. Come over to the window. Look, and everyone's gonna like point out into the garden of the moving shape. With the
Are those plants moving?
yes, but I think it's something made of plants or with a really nice plant coat.
Oh, okay. Well,
Living
but that's not the same
plants.
thing that Yulyanya saw.
No,
No,
it
I'm
doesn't
seeing a
seem to be.
giant.
Yes. So, I mean, we have now three things to worry
Three.
about.
What's the third thing?
So on the wall, the gargoyle is pointing to the gargoyle wall. The statues. Sorry, me just saying gargoyles. Statues.
I mean, they're statues of gargoyles, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Gargoyle describes both the creature and the architecture.
Gargoyle
Okay.
rights. Okay.
And a rad TV show.
It is.
Mhm.
Those when I guess they're like some form of mechanism that sets them off when something lands on them. There was birds that one landed on it and it smashed it completely into feathers.
Oh,
So
so we're not climbing over the wall, is what I'm hearing.
I wouldn't imagine it, but the gate also seems very much like a trap. And so
Gate seems like a trap.
well, it's just open. I don't quite trust that.
Open gates are traps.
It's an open gate in a place where
Yeah.
clearly no one wants to be.
People who have.
Well, Papa always said that we have an open gate policy, and if anybody needed to come, they could come.
Your
Was
Papa
it an
is a
open
witch.
gate policy or an open door policy?
An open gate to the farm, of course.
Okay. It means something very different outside
Yeah.
of the farm.
Oh, I mean, if people needed to eat, they could eat.
Well, my concern is that in this case,
We'll be the
the
ones
open
getting eaten.
invitation is, yeah.
Oh, to eat us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now there's a farm in the valley.
So it's rock and a hard place, obviously.
Maybe literally.
Yes.
So we've got climbing giants, walking plants.
Gargoyles.
And open gates.
Open gates and dangerous statues. Okay. All right.
And you
well,
described, sorry, Sam, that you also described like a bridge. Like what did you the bridge you
So
described?
yeah, it's basically it's kind of like
We're gonna die.
it goes like garden, wall, and then like kind of what looks like almost like a smaller set of like bit of fortress on one side of a bridge that connects to like the main body of the fortress. So you've almost got like an end, like not like a gatehouse, like bigger than a gatehouse, but definitely like a small like
Like an
front section of the
outpost?
fortress. Yeah, almost like an outpost, and then like that connects over across a huge bridge
Like a
to the
bridge,
giant main
bridge
fortress.
or like a bridge that was like in Shrek.
No, it's like a
drawbridge or like a connect.
it's like a you can't so
An ice bridge.
it's made it from what you can see of it, it appears to be like built in, like made of stone. Like it is emplacement here.
Awesome.
You can't exactly see how long or big it is because like it's behind the section of fortress, but you can see like kind of goes off at an angle.
You
So you
could've
can see a
just
little
said
bit.
Okay, I was just asking because I was imagining like the Shrek bridge. and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
same.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Stone, actual built-in bridge.
All right.
Okay.
That's a little
Like-
less.
Like a Final
Probab-
Fantasy 14 bridge.
Sure, like built like 20.
I know. The
Imagine.
reference.
Have you seen Van Helsing?
Yes.
You know the bridge from Van Helsing,
Just wait.
like in Dracula's castle,
Mm-hmm.
where the very end, like the one guy's Carl is running across, and that
Igor, yeah.
like a bridge like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Van Helsing.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I know Justin has seen Van Helsing several times.
Oh yeah. All right. So, how do we want to do this? I'll sniff something out. No.
I'm not certain that's how that.
I'm trying to
Well, I
lighten
mean-
the tension.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, for those of you keeping track, the full moon is the day after tomorrow.
I don't need to keep track, but
Yeah,
I need to track
mhm.
for other reasons.
I know.
I think we gotta just go
Quickly and quietly.
quickly and quietly. We don't really got much time, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And I'm looking at Princess when I say it.
The princess is aware of.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Painfully aware. All right.
Did
Well,
we bring up the chains and stuff, or did we
I
leave those
don't.
down?
I don't imagine we carry chains up the mountain. I believe that is something that we left at the bottom of the mountain.
Oh.
My flail works as a chain.
We are not going to try and shred Princess, okay?
I'm not suggesting it. Don't worry.
Look-
It's handled.
It's
It's
night of the full moon. Just push Princess off the mountain.
Oh no. It's handled. It's handled. We have nothing to
Good
worry about,
transformation.
Tedros. Everything's handled. I'll deal with it if I have to. Because I can't get cursed again.
Surprise! Double werewolf.
Sweet!
Werewolf.
The Lugaru, even bigger.
Oh my god.
Look at the stat block, it's so cool. Anyways.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they have one now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Quickly, quietly.
Yep.
Perhaps. I don't know. Pause before the gate. Just try to look around the corner.
Yeah.
Just not trudge right in.
I don't think we're gonna have any piggybacks today, Yule. Just to be safe.
Yeah, I can walk.
Alright.
And you'll all be able to take a little bit more. And Tedros will cast aid on the non-Tedros people.
Okay. How much extra HP is that right now?
Cinco.
5. Okay.
Is that max HP or temp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your max
Okay, that's
HP
what I thought.
increases by 5.
Yeah, 56.
So who are you casting it on?
Everybody.
Everyone
Tedros.
but Tedros.
All of you fine people.
56.
Nice. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Onwards and upwards.
Quite literally, yes.
All right. So y'all head out of the cabin and start making your way towards the garden.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tedros
Yeah.
is the last one out, and before he leaves, he will take the owl feather that he found and just slip it into Victoria's pack.
Okay.
Head out.
All right. All right. So you head out. Moving in the direction of the garden, you can see that there is it's like 2 pillars with like a wrought iron looking like arch connecting the 2 of them, and the hedges, like it's like hedges and vines and creepers and flowers and thorns, like all of these things have just kind of like grown together into this one just unruly matted mass of plant matter that's kind of just like collected together and like is wrapped around the pillars and the archway, almost like it evokes the image of just like hands grasping out and like holding onto it, but they don't encroach anywhere inside that archway, providing a doorway into the garden.
1 second. Is there like any? I'm gonna pick up some snow and form it into a snowball,
Mm-hmm.
and just throw it through the arch.
Just hits the ground and scatters on the other side.
Just seeing if the gate does anything, if something goes through it.
Good idea. And Tedros will load his crossbow and ready in action to shoot anything that might come through.
Smart.
Okay.
I'm gonna, just so I have it for the day, because it lasts all day anyway. Chain on my arm and lightning.
Okay. All right.
And
Good
I
to know.
take 4 damage. Thank you for aid, Tedros.
Yeah, you get one. You got one extra still. All right, so y'all head into the garden.
Well, like before, it's like I guess like Princess would just like pause and just like look around the corner to like just like see direct eyes before we just walk into the garden to see what's there.
Just like look around. Okay. It looks that same.
Real quick. So, I am a cleric, and I do get a new cantrip. So,
Okay.
I will do my endeavor best to not be that guy. But he will
Meteor swarm. It's
Oh,
put
is
a
it?
hand on
I know what you got.
Princess's shoulder
Yeah.
and say a small prayer of guidance.
Okay.
You have a D4 to add to your roll. Don't expect guidance on every
guy?
single roll
Why don't you want to be that guy? Be that guy.
because
No. I know
Fucking
the
hate
guy
that
he's
guy.
talking about is just like anytime someone makes a roll, just being like,
Yeah.
I have guidance on that.
Yeah,
Across the room.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know this. I know the frustration.
I was gonna say.
Is this not the first time you've used it this campaign?
I just picked it up, so this is definitely the
Yeah,
first one.
it's new. It's
So
new.
you're good.
Yep.
It just gets a little
But
silly
yes.
with some things.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Don't worry, I've got it. Yeah. We get you. Feel free to ask. I will feel free to shut you down when it does not apply. I mean, actually, in this case, like you can give guidance, but there's not actually a roll really in this instance because like you can kind of like look around, but with how close you are now, like with the hedge walls are about 10 feet tall, so you're actually with your angle looking up, you can't see over them like you could because the cabin was like up a slight slope, so you were kind of looking level with the top of the hedge wall. Now that you're down inside of it, you can't really see past them, so you can't really track wherever that movement was, unless it's like within line of sight, which currently it isn't. Looking in, kind of leaning around, peeking left and right. It looks like, based on like the fact that it kind of branches out to either side, and then there's like corridors continuing and like turning in different directions. Looks like it's a pretty classic hedge maze.
Princess communicates that it's a fucking maze.
Oh, great. Anyone good at navigating?
I can
Survive.
well,
I mean,
Maybe.
yeah.
I have proficiency in navigator's tools and
I'm really
water
hoping,
vehicles.
Yeah, that's not helpful here.
I'm proficient in survival. I don't know if that.
Then go ahead.
All right.
I'm not
Yes.
for some reason.
I
Oh, that's right. Because I took something more.
Yeah,
I took something silly instead.
survival.
Yeah, I think Yule is also proficient in survival.
For some reason, I decided
Okay.
to take insight instead.
Oh yeah, it might be useful, or it will be useful. All skills are useful. Okay,
Except
so then,
for nature.
perform.
hey, if you would like to aid Princess, then Princess can take advantage on the roll if that's what you'd like to do. It's like helping
I
her
can?
navigate. Yeah, so basically, since you're both proficient, I think Princess still has the higher bonus. So
Mhm.
either both of you can roll, or you can just give Princess advantage.
See, that's how I like. That's how I like ruling the help action for ability
Advantage.
checks. Is 2 people need to be proficient in it.
I'll give
Yeah.
disadvantage.
With some exceptions, I think,
Oh,
like
yeah.
things like athletics to move something. It's like, yeah, you can help with that, but like,
Survival, yeah.
yeah, survival or like
15?
Arcana.
15?
Okay. And then okay, so you're rolling. So then, Princess, roll. Give me yours.
That is sorry. Would guidance still count here?
It's an ability check.
How long does guidance last for? Is it like a minute?
Yeah, it does last for a minute, so I don't know.
Okay, then yeah, that guidance would count. So yeah, still add your D4.
That is oh wow. Okay, that's that was a little bit overkill. That's a 29.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay. So you all start like making your way through the maze and progressing forward and everything, and you're making your way through and kind of progressing, charting your path. Yule and Princess are both kind of like keeping track of where you're going, and like the biggest part of it is just kind of mentally keeping track of where you've gone, where you've been to already before. I just skipped for a second there, but just kind of keeping track of where you've been. Yule kind of gets this impression that something weird is going on. That something's like, as you're progressing, you're just like, I feel like that should have got us closer, but it didn't. And like every time we take a turn, something happens. Princess is very easily able to tell, based on like you get this suspicion at one point that something's going on, and to confirm it at one point, you like double back and turn around and go down a way you've been. And you discover that it looks different than it did, and you immediately come to the conclusion the maze is shifting around you, and is in fact the walls are moving, and like corridors are closing and opening, and the place
And
is
we've entered
not.
the maze runner.
Yeah, the place is not behaving.
I smack it. No, I don't do anything to the maze.
Princess looks up. It keeps on moving.
That's fun.
Yeah,
What's
it's
moving?
not right. It's not the same, right?
It's not.
I thought that was just me.
But the maze is moving?
Yeah.
Yes, it's not the same.
Can I like just get like, does it feel like the maze is moving intuitively or randomly?
Hard. Actually, with the 29, you're pretty much confident that it is like you're being provided options that basically make it so that you can only like it's keeping you going in circles for the most part. Like one of the biggest things that tipped you off was like you started coming across. You were going down a path, and you looked down and you saw your own tracks going like out from one wall and then into the other, like perpendicular to the path. So like basically like it had like walked you back over, and there was a corridor going this way where there used to be one going this way.
All right.
Excuse me.
Speak now, forever hold your peace. I'm going to climb the wall.
Climb the wall.
I just want to get a view.
All right, good luck.
Be
That sounds
very
like a good
careful.
idea.
Be
I
very
can
careful.
climb the wall. Could we go together?
Maybe one person at once.
You know,
Just
if I
be
get my
safe.
head shot off, one person will be fine.
Do
Yeah,
you think
so
someone's going to shoot at you?
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I'm just gonna like start climbing.
Okay. All right, as you're climbing, go ahead and give me either an acrobatics or an athletics check.
Ooh, okay.
Tedros will track her with his crossbow, just
To
Okay.
shoot.
in case. Yeah, and just as soon as she gets up there, bring her down. No, he'll aim to pick off anything that might be lunging towards her.
Okay, what'd you get?
18 on athletics.
Okay. You start climbing your way up, and like once you start getting to the point where you're like completely pressed up against the wall, so like your hands and feet are on it, and you started actually climbing, the vines and the thorns and the creepers start to just like reach out and grow over your like hands and wrists, and like come out like they're trying to start wrapping around you and just grabbing you onto the wall itself. But you manage to like rip your way out of them and break free of some of them. You can choose to keep going, as like more of it seems to just be like reaching out trying to grab onto you, or you can jump off and land down.
How am I halfway up?
You're about halfway up, yeah.
Prince is gonna keep going.
Okay. Then go ahead and give me another athletics or acrobatics roll to try and break your way free.
I'm gonna follow Tedros's lead and ready an Eldritch Blast in case anything like
Okay.
deadly looking attacks.
That's a 12.
Okay, you get pretty much up to the top, so like your head is just right over the wall, and you're like you all watch as basically like vines and thorns and creepers and things just like wrap around her arms and legs and just like pretty much like almost engulf her into the wall, so she's just like a layer of plant over Princess, just like pinning her into the wall and grappling her there. Your head is up over it, and you can see from here with just like this much head over the wall, like just this much, you can see that like shape of plants and like plant matter turn down another corridor and start making its way in your direction, and you can see like corridors and things like as it's walking forward, like it's like moving towards a dead end, and you can see like the dead ends like opening and parting in its path, allowing it to move freely through the maze without needing to worry about like actually navigating it.
In our direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you restrained?
Yeah.
All right.
Grappled actually. The wall is effectively grappling Princess.
Can I fight it?
Mm-hmm.
Get out of
You
it.
can. So, if anyone else would like to do something first, because like you like just got stuck.
Can I throw an Eldritch
so.
Blast at it and make sure, like the one that I'm readying, throw it at the vines and not hit Princess? Just hit the vines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
you can just hit just a big chunk of vines,
Cool.
like
That's
because they're all like attached into a section of the wall.
plan. Okay.
So
Yeah.
go ahead and roll an attack roll. Just hit like a good chunk of them.
Oh, not one.
What'd you get? Oh boy. So yeah, you just I'm gonna be nice for this first one because it was a ready
launch
action.
out.
You launch and just like manage to find like a perfect gap
God.
in the wall, and it just flies right through it and misses entirely.
There's
Like
a-
doesn't hit
What about
anything.
a sunbolt?
There's a gap in the wall.
Stop shooting at me.
It's like
Would a
and, you know, it's
sunbolt
like
work?
just big enough. You can
Would
throw a
a sun-
sunbolt if you like.
I
You can
would
throw a
try-
sunbolt if you
I
want.
would try to- I would
Go
try
ahead,
to throw a
roll an attack
sunbolt.
roll the sunbolt.
Tedros,
All right.
the vines are attacking.
Stop. No, stop. Stop shooting at me.
Ooh,
Just like you're just looking over your shoulders, like what's happening? You can see like
gosh
Eldritch
dang
Blast
it. What
coming
is
past
plus for my sunbolts?
you. Dexterity and proficiency
Mm-hmm.
should be. I think it's on there,
It is.
like under your attack section.
Cannot right now.
+4 to hit.
boy.
It's Radiant Sunbolt. It's at the bottom.
Oh,
of
it's
your
plus
attacks.
4?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
18.
Yes, that hits.
Perfect.
Hitting the broadside of a wall is not difficult,
Thanks.
unless you nat one.
Okay, so I 18 at the vines.
I have an iPad.
Okay, and then go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, yeah.
No depth perception.
I don't have no depth perception.
Yeah.
There's mechanics for that. So realistically, there's
Wow,
mechanics.
kill
for
me. Literally only. And for damage, I only add 2, right?
Yeah, D4 plus
I
2.
think so. Yeah. Yep.
So only 3.
Okay, so just like you hear just like it's kind of like shrieking sound, almost just like steam escaping out of a plant or something like that. You think maybe you're not sure if the plants actually shriek
I
themselves.
leave.
As that section of plants just like parts a little bit, but not enough to substantially free Princess.
I cast teleport.
And then,
Tedros like looks
Princess,
down.
Are you okay?
He looks down the sight of his crossbow and he's like, no, and he lets it drop and he casts Toll the Dead, and just you hear that
okay.
that owl hoot cry as he
All right.
rings the bell.
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah.
Like
Vines.
that. 6 damage.
Okay. You can see just that necrotic energy, just like all of them just like kind of wither a little bit and just like blacken around the edges. But still not enough. Like the whole section basically that Princess is on just kind of like withers a little bit. Still not enough to completely free Princess though. Then Princess,
Try to fight it. Get out. Support
All right.
before people start shooting at magic.
All right. Athletics check. Athletics or acrobatics.
Sorry, do you have concerns?
Oh no.
That's a 8.
25 for the wall. They're just like pushing back and struggling and just like
Well, it's been nice
more of
knowing
them, more of them
Princess.
just like
At least it's safe for
Pulling
us
into the
this
wall.
way when the moon comes. So,
One thing to keep in mind. We're gonna try this again. I should have raged my dumbass. I would like to raid.
Yeah, now you have,
Okay.
now you have advantage.
Yep. I mean, you know, you have a limited number of those. We don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know when, like,
Yeah.
so, like, it's
You might
not
be saving
necessarily
up
a
for
given.
it.
Okay. Okay. So that is 17.
Was that, wait, was that another attempt?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to give everybody else a chance to,
Okay.
real quick, just, like, do other stuff if they
All
want
right.
first, but you can keep the
Cool.
17.
More people shooting at me.
Yeah, does anybody else want to take shots at the wall while Princess is trying to break free?
Tedros will continue to use Toll the Dead instead.
Okay.
Any
of,
updates for us? Is there anything coming?
There is. There is.
I want to do Toll the Dead too, actually, because I forgot I have it as well.
Oh, okay.
My Toll the Dead
This is
sounds
gonna,
like the sound of bells on a ship as it's going through fog.
Ooh, nice.
Like
Both you roll
bells.
damage.
Yeah, Princess.
What did it
was
roll
having-
for the wisdom save for me, though? What did it roll for me in terms of wisdom saves?
6 again.
Because
it
my DC
was-
sucks.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, let me tell you, it's
Okay,
got
cool.
a really bad penalty. Like,
Uh,
don't even worry about
so
it.
I roll a D12, right?
Yeah, well, because it has taken damage.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. Fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry.
2 necrotic.
Okay.
9 damage this time instead of the.
Okay. That's
6.
exactly enough. So Princess, before you even have a chance to struggle, like a hooting of an owl and the tolling of ship bells just kind of like rings out around you, and just like all of the vines and plants within this like 5-foot wide section just like die and shrivel into like dried up husks, and like it's like crunching through dry leaves at this point as you're just like fighting your way through, and it just like gradually like kind of just gradually everything snaps and breaks and then just like lets you down gradually to your feet, and this section of wall is actually completely open, opening you up into the ability to move forward, which with your previous survival check you can know that is actually forward progress that you didn't make before. Like that is moving into a section of maze you have not previously been to.
Okay. We have incoming
Oh,
leaf creature coming this way through the maze.
Oh.
Through the gateway Tedros just kindly made.
I
It's
can-
through.
Yes. Okay. So let's.
all right.
Tedros
If
follows.
if it pops up, I can handle a ficus. Let's go. And I'm gonna follow.
Okay, so you head forward. So it was kind of coming from forward and to your left, so you can kind of like follow the corridor to your right to get some distance from it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're moving through the maze. What would you just make your way through the maze again?
As we're
Anything else?
walking, I'm smelling to see if I smell anything untowards or like bad or.
Everything smells like plant matter. Everything smells like
I have
cold
advantage,
plants.
and I'm looking for bad stuff.
I know, but you don't smell anything.
No one
That's
even.
the thing. Sometimes plants are bad.
Yeah, some
Mhm.
plants smell like shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Princess will keep an ear out for.
Well, yeah, I should have been doing that because I have advantage on that too.
yeah, okay. If you're listening, then go ahead and make
Okay.
me. Both of you go ahead and make me perception checks.
That makes more sense. For
Listen.
some reason, I thought I was only smell. Natural 20 for a 23.
Okay.
Wow. That's a 12. I have a 12. I got a 12.
Okay.
So listen.
Montblanc, yeah, you can hear just like this snapping and dragging and like moving sound of something moving towards you back in the direction that Princess indicated. Sounds big.
Yeah, it
Sounds
sounds
real big.
Yeah, it sounds big. Whatever it is.
Sound close.
As big as the big thing that I saw?
No, it sounds like the plant thing the princess saw. It's coming in the direction you said, so I'm not sure if it's close or not.
Hard to tell exact distance, but like probably seems like it's more than like 60 feet away at this
It's
point,
more than 60 feet
With a-
away, I think.
with a good amount of like walls between it.
Plus, we
though,
got
as
walls
Princess
between
saw,
us, so
those walls just kind of open as it makes its way through.
Okay.
we just keep moving.
As we continue through, does it still feel like the same? Like, is it still?
Give me a survival. Anyone who would like to give me a survival check.
All right.
You have enough prep time. You do have enough prep time with this that Tedros, you'd be able to give guidance.
16.
We'll give that to Princess.
Okay.
I got a 16.
Okay.
And the process of doing so makes it so that Tedros doesn't know what the hell is going on. That's a natural one.
That's a 21.
Okay.
14?
What was it?
14?
Okay. Yeah, it's not hard. It's actually, especially now that you know what you're looking for, it's not really difficult. The three of you that didn't roll in that one, can easily tell that like the maze is once again trying to redirect you and is actually trying to push you back into like back in the direction that you came from.
I have a thought. Weird thought. Just hear it out. Hear me out. What if that plant thing you saw is what is controlling the maze?
Yes, that's entirely possible.
But if it's trying to push us out of the way that we want to go, then shouldn't we just go the way that we don't want to go?
Huh. That actually
But that
makes
leads back to it.
sense.
But if we go in the way that seems unsafe, then maybe we just fight our way out and we actually get to where we want to go.
Well, we know where we want to go. We can see.
I don't think it has to do with our thoughts or our desires. I think it just happens to be whatever or where the direction we're going. Are we still walking while we're having this conversation?
Yeah, yeah. About that.
Okay.
But if it's going everywhere that if it's pushing us the wrong way every time we go where we want to go, every time we go which way seems right, then what if we just pick which way seems wrong?
All right, Yule. Well, we could try it your way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So that way seems wrong, right?
Yeah, but shit, we might have to fight it.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I will tell you that this is kind of from all the survival checks. It's not necessarily like right or wrong options. It's literally like the only options being provided to you by the maze are like leading you back in an unproductive direction. So like it kind of doesn't matter. Like even if you turned around, like if you were to try and like go back and forth, basically, like it would pretty much all still being a like giving you options that like led you back in that direction.
I agree with Tedros. I think we got to fight this thing. I think it's controlling the maze. That's my opinion. Otherwise, because like Princess, you said you saw it in the maze last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the maze, and the maze is parting for it. I think we got to deal with it.
More importantly, whatever we leave behind us when we go in, we have to deal with when we come out
with a child. Yeah.
Right.
Fuck. Flail off, and I'm casting Armor of Agathis on myself.
Okay, so you're all just getting ready to fight.
My only spell slot.
Okay.
Woo! 5-10 hit points.
Yeah, yeah, very unhappy about this.
All right, let's go. Buff yourselves, give yourselves whatever prep you want to do.
Okay, yeah. Princess is gonna toss snow over her hat and crouch low.
I'm as I'm doing all this, Samuel, I'm gonna take off my navy jacket and go completely bare-chested.
Nice.
All right.
6-pack, big muscles, because it's a fantasy and I want to be muscular. And 20 strength, so just...
Nice. All right.
In the neck, getting ready, just... Yeah.
Okay.
Yulyanya doesn't know what the word preparation means.
Okay. All right, so you're all standing there, and then as you're just kind of waiting, doing whatever prep you want to do, and eventually, just down the corridor from you, the vines and everything parts, and you can see just this. For a second, it almost looks like a wall is just moving to close off, and you can see that it's moving, almost like it's like somewhere between bipedal and quadrupedal, kind of like in the same way that like a gorilla walks, with its like kind of upright, but with its hands on the ground. It doesn't really have hands, just kind of like a featureless mound of plant matter, just shambling forward.
No! No! I was gonna run at it.
It gets to the end of the corridor and then just turns its like head section in your direction, and at 60 feet exactly. And now go since you waited for it, go ahead and roll initiative.
We definitely have readied actions, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you probably. If you were readying actions, then yeah, go ahead.
I didn't. Nope.
No, okay. Tedros will line up a shot and take a shot with the crossbow.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to fight a shambling mound.
That's gonna be a 19.
That will hit.
Fantastic. Take that, you fiend. Ooh, that's actually good. 10 damage.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Piercing,
you.
if it matters.
What was it? Sorry. What did you say?
10 piercing damage if it matters.
Okay. Does not make a difference, but thank you. In this case. All right, yeah, so the arrow like sinks into it and like splits some of the vines and it lets out just like a turns in your as it's facing in your direction.
Do I get advantage on initiative because my pecs are out?
No.
Okay.
You tried.
That's a 19.
All right. Anybody else have ready actions?
I didn't know.
Trying to get those nit points.
Okay, if nobody else had ready actions, then initiative from everybody.
It's
Yeah.
cold out, right? So there's
So pointy.
piercing damage. 19 for initiative.
Okay.
12 for Tedros.
Okay.
15.
15.
I got an 8. So
Okay.
I am so excited.
Okay.
I am so excited.
Yule is not ready and not excited.
Okay. Montblanc, you're up first. It is 60 feet away from you.
Bolt at it. Just
Okay.
And as I'm running, bonus action,
Mm-hmm.
hybrid form.
Ooh, nice. Please
And
tell us for the first time, what does that look like?
Sprinting through the maze, Monty grows maybe an extra 2 feet in height. So now he goes from, because that's just fun flavor, goes from 6'6" to 8'6", and the shoulders sort of like pop out of their joints. You can hear like the bones cracking and snapping as they reform. The white hair on his head and his beard start to like sprout and grow all along the exterior of his body. His fingernails all like pop off and land in the snow, and
Oh,
long
gross.
claws grow out from each point. The teeth starts to fall out as teeth get pushed out, canine teeth. The tusks get a little more prominent. Just
Nice.
Damn, you're going through puberty every couple months.
the wolf eye that he has stays the same. Snout elongates. His left ear that's already like all fucked up and mangled. It's just mangled as a wolf ear. And I just sprint as this muscular, completely white-haired werewolf, and just and full movement 30 feet. And as I'm running, that's a bonus action to do that. And then I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast out of my clawed hand.
Yeah. Yeah, the tattoo still shows through the fur, like the fur is like discolored in the color of the tattoo.
And I'm just also still swinging the flail as I run.
All right, go ahead and roll the attack roll with the Eldritch Blast.
Ugh, 12.
That does not hit.
Okay. Well, that's my
So just
turn.
Blasts off one of the hits on one of the vines hanging off. But
All right,
okay,
cool.
that will make it the creature's turn, and I think it can't actually get to Monty, and it doesn't have enough reach because it's slow.
Yeah, it is.
So it is actually going to, seeing that, it's going to sidestep, and as it does, like the wall parts next to it, and then you can just hear it moving, kind of along the wall like moving up towards. So basically, like moves into the next hallway, and then starts moving along that corridor towards you. But it is now out of line of sight and has moved 20 feet closer,
All right.
making it Princess's turn.
Lovely. It's moved out of sight. Okay.
Werewolf Monty. Yay.
Yes, yay. I'm trying to see if I need to have sight on this person for this spell. I don't know if I can. I don't even know if I need to have eyes on it. Yeah, I think so. What is the V on this? Is that verbal or visual?
Yeah.
It's verbal. What's the spell?
Cause fear. Do I have to see?
The text should say like when it's describing the target, it should say something like a creature you can see or something like that.
No, I guess I'll cast cause fear then. And that would be a wisdom save. They have 14 for them.
Oh, it does
Okay,
say
within-
it custard. Unfortunately, does say that you can see within range.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Me trying to read this. Okay. All right. Cool. Then not that.
Okay.
I don't have like much I could do without seeing. All right then. Damn. Princess Blank to. I'm already raged, right? This 10 minutes, right?
I think, but you need to be if you're not attacked like every round
Yeah.
or like attack or being attacked every round, it ends.
Damn it. Okay. Then I would just ready an attack for when I have ready myself for when I have sight on.
Okay. What are you ready?
Cause fear.
Okay, so you okay. So just really quick. So casting a spell, readying a spell is a little different than it actually technically like cast the majority of the spell and hold it.
Yeah.
It does take. I don't think you're using concentration or anything else, but it does take
I'm not.
concentration to hold the
Okay.
sphere, the sphere,
Okay.
the spell. There we go. And then you
All
like
right.
release it when on your as your reaction.
I also think you can't concentrate while you're raging.
I'm not.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not
That's
raging
the
anymore. Yeah,
That's
not
a-
raging anymore.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
the raging.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Tedros, your turn. You're muted.
Oh no!
I'm a professional.
It got
Uh,
Tedros.
Did Tedros see it like move into the wall?
Yeah,
And,
like
like-
basically the wall opened and it just like moved into the next hallway, pretty much.
He's like, oh no, you don't. It's like the entire thing is a hedge, right? It's all
Yeah.
hedge.
Yep.
He is going to.
Burn it down.
I wish. Actually, he's going to take out a torch and use
Yeah.
prestidigitation to light a torch.
Okay. So that's your standard action to light the torch, but
Nice.
it lights up.
Nice.
And he will hand it off to Yulyanya and say, "Start burning.
Oh no.
What?
Start burning.
The torch? Burning the torch?
The hedge. Burn the hedge."
Oh, okay.
That will
She'll
make it
grab-
that will make it Yule's turn first. Yule's turn next.
She'll grab the torch, but have absolutely no idea what Tedros is talking about because light to her doesn't equate to burning, so she's very confused. But
No, the torch is actually lit. It's on fire.
oh,
Yeah.
Like he hands you a burning torch.
Yeah.
she'll still be kind of. I'm sorry.
No, I thought
it's a
the
little
confusion
slow.
makes sense.
She's still kind of confused.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
But looking around and not, obviously not seeing a monster and not knowing who to like attack, then she'll be like, oh, and take the torch to the vines.
Okay. So you just like jam. It's an inanimate object, so it lights it on fire. So I'll say that does the usual on fire amount of damage. Because do you remember what the rules are for a torch dealing damage?
Uh,
I think it's like a point of fire damage.
yeah,
It's
either
like 1 point of
I think
fire
it's
damage.
a point. Yeah.
Okay. I'll count it as the lit on fire
Yeah.
rules, which, as I remember correctly, is like a d6
Yeah,
of
yeah,
damage every
yeah,
round. 'cause
torch,
it's a flammable object, so
if you make a melee attack with a burning torch and hit, it deals 1 fire damage.
so do 1 fire damage, but then the light's on fire, which is gonna do. I'll have it like so. You light the section next to you on fire, and it starts to burn. I'll have like on
I
initiative
would
0. take the damage.
specifically, probably, well, you know what? Honestly, this is a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Bad ideas are the best ideas.
No, yeah. She'll just go up to wherever the nearest vines and she'd light them on fire.
Okay. Do you go for a quick directional question? Do you go on the side? You're kind of facing horizontal, so like to your right, to your left is
Well, okay, it's
back in the
Princess-
direction you came. To your right.
Is Princess free? Princess has
Oh yeah, Princess was grabbed like 10 minutes ago.
been free for a minute. So
Yes.
yeah, so pretty much whatever direction seems like the direction that would get them towards the tower or like
Okay.
wherever they're trying to go is what
Okay.
she would start lighting on fire.
Okay, so you go over to your right side then. You're going to start lighting that on fire. Okay. So you light that on fire. You can hear like snapping and crackling as it catches and starts to spread. Okay. That was your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Then at the end of your turn, like at initiative 0, then basically that's fire. It deals damage. It spreads real quick. These vines, let me tell you, are vulnerable to fire damage. So it deals 12. It takes 12 points of fire damage.
Nice.
Which is almost, so like half of it is like already burned away and on fire and nearly burned straight through.
We do love to see it.
All right, that'll bring us to Monty's turn.
How tall are these hedges?
10 feet.
Okay. How wide is the thing? How wide are these?
Like the corridor you're in?
Yeah.
10 feet.
Excellent. I'm gonna back up to the opposite side.
Okay.
All right, high jump. If you run, make a 10-foot start. You can jump half that.
You're just gonna jump.
I'm gonna run 10 feet and make my high jump and try to jump clear the hedge and land on the other side.
Okay, make me an athletics check.
I have advantage because I'm a werewolf now.
Yep.
18 plus 7.
Monty just turns, runs, and does a high jump where he leaps, kind of twists in the air, turns his back over it, so he just kind of
Cool.
arches over the top head first, and then lands on a roll on the other side, right in front of this thing. You can see
as
it
I'm
was
coming down. I'm
towards...
gonna come down and bring the flail on top of it.
Okay, roll the attack. I'll say with advantage because you're coming. Actually, no.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, no, not with.
Okay.
Because technically, it still knew you were there.
Yeah, true. All right.
Oh wait, no, never mind. Actually, yes, do. I would say actually do. No, never mind. I need just
taking it away. All right.
I'm sorry, because it has blind sight, and so
that's
it knew
right,
you were
do,
there the
don't
whole
they?
time.
15 plus 7, so that's 23.
22.
22.
That does hit. Roll damage.
All right, so that'll
DM
be.
giveth, DM taketh away.
Yeah. What the hell? All right. Oh, who'd be loose? Okay. Nobody. I have to move windows around again.
Okay.
I'll get to the dice rolling in a second. Okay.
Very good.
That's max 8 plus 8 because I'm a werewolf. I get an extra +1 to damage. So that's 16 bludgeoning.
Okay.
And then the lightning is 4 lightning.
Wait. Okay. So here, hold on. Give me those. So it was 18 bludgeoning.
16. 8 plus 8.
Okay. 16 bludgeoning. Okay. And then you said 4 lightning.
4 lightning.
Okay.
There's something else here. I'm forgetting it. Hold on.
I don't think you have hex cast right now.
No. What size is it?
Large.
I have crusher.
Oh yeah.
Would you count the burning? Is the burning space within 5 feet?
No, the burning space is 30 feet back from you because it's over by where Yule is.
Right. I can move it 5 feet to an unoccupied space, so I'm going to move it 5 feet back.
Okay, I would actually say you can move. You can probably guess that if you moved, since the vine's part for it, if you moved it in the direction of the corridor, it would actually move it back into view.
I'm going to move it back into the view of everybody else. Just
okay. So you come down, you
baseball
smack
swing.
it in the side, yeah, and it in midair, and it stumbles. The rest of you just see the corridor, the wall just open up as this thing comes stumbling through into view.
Oh, that's so cool.
It gets hit, and some of the vines and everything get shredded. But then as the lightning crackles over it, they start to knit back together as the lightning damage actually heals it.
Fuck! That's right, isn't it?
No.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, I do have another bonus action. Okay. I haven't used a bonus action yet. I see that it's healing from the lightning, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I'm gonna... Bonus action, rake the chain across my arm.
Okay.
And change it from lightning to fire.
Okay.
And I take 4 damage, which does go to my armor Vegathis. So now it's wreathed in flame.
Okay.
Well, that's my turn.
All right. That will actually make it its turn before that, but Princess has a readied action, so you see it stumble into view, and you can let off cause fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wisdom save.
Yeah. 14, I think. Yeah.
It got I got a 16.
No.
I know.
Rats.
You're startled, it just like suddenly stumbles through the wall, and you let off the spell, but it like manages to shake its way out of it. Too focused on Montblanc, who just smacked it. I think that was the only ready actions. That will bring us back to the mound, which is still adjacent to Montblanc. If it's not, it steps up to him, and it's going to attack him with 2 slam attacks, which is 2 vine-covered arms reach up and slam down towards him.
Go for it, because I am resistant right now.
That is true. That is a 14 to hit.
14 misses because I'm a werewolf now.
Nice. So yeah, you just like, with your extra speed, I just dodge out of the way of the first one. Second attack is a 12.
Miss, yeah, nah.
Yeah, just dodge with your supernatural reflexes out of the way, left and right, making your princess's turn.
Yes, 'tis my turn. I so know what to do.
Meteor swarm.
Yeah, I definitely have that. Just load it up.
Of course, yeah.
All right, how far away is the creature from me?
30 feet from you now.
30 feet. I'm gonna use my full movement to get up in its business.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm gonna use just like the weapon. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
I also don't have it. But
I mean, technically Tedros made it, so Tedros needs to name it, really.
Yeah.
Oh.
Things to think about. Tedros' weapon that he gave me.
Yeah.
Okay. Big attack.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna workshop that
All right.
like right now.
You do that. That is math. We love math. 18 to hit.
That does hit.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. We love to see it.
Let's call it Tedros 2.0.
Don't put my name on that killing
Oh,
weapon.
that's 6 damage.
Okay.
For that. Oop. Sorry. And then bonus action, 2-weapon fighting. Gonna just take the other end, hit it with
Go ahead.
That is that's a 21 to hit. I did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
Sorry.
Werewolves are so cool. Werewolves are just cool.
That's 5 damage.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so yeah, so Monty knocks it through the wall of the hedge. Princess lets out Cod Sphere. It shrugs it off. It turns and just like tries to hit Monty. Is so focused on trying to hit him, the princess just comes up and just slashes across his back twice, and then brings another one up from like just leg to shoulder. As it like, it's like shoulders tense up from that, and it turns around in your direction, making it Tedros' turn. You can see it.
Yeah, Tedros will grab that energy and ring that bell again for Toll the Dead.
Okay, wisdom save.
Yep, DC 13.
It got a 17.
No.
Mm-hmm. It's rolling good on its saving throws, but not on its attacks.
Not a fan.
All right, so
he will
shrugs
also
that off.
like let the crossbow dangle so he can get his shield out.
Okay.
And he gets a little bit closer. He doesn't get right up in its face. I think he gets to maybe 15 feet away.
Okay. All right. That will bring us to Yule's turn, who is currently not here at the moment. Let me just.
Sorry.
Oh, there you're back. Your turn.
So. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to step up for a second. Are there still more? Is my torch still burning?
The torch is still burning. The wall has basically been lit on fire, so it is independently burning at this point. So like that section of wall is independently burning.
Are there more sections that could potentially, like, do more sections of burning seem helpful?
Potentially, yeah. You're surrounded by a hedge maze. You could light everything
Because
around you
Yule
on
would
fire.
probably just like
You start lighting shit on fire.
to light things on fire. So
Okay.
she would probably just run around lighting everything on fire.
All right, so you just like poke another section of wall with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you light another section on fire. Okay.
And then, is she within sight of the creature?
Yes, you are.
Could I try a sunbolt?
Yes, I think. Can you do a sunbolt on a bonus? Can you do a sunbolt on a because your action
Oh
would
no,
have
it
been to
would be
poke
the
with the
bonus.
torch?
Yeah, no, then never mind.
But I don't know. I don't. You might be able to.
I think
Let me
the
double
I
check the
didn't know
sunbolt.
if burning the wall would count as an
I
action.
think sunbolts are actions. Yeah.
No, yeah,
They
I
are,
didn't
but I know
if
you can also.
the wall would be an action. So yeah, sunbolts are actions, so I can't do it.
Okay. Well, I know you can do them as a bonus action, but I think it's only if your action was also a sunbolt.
Yeah. You can replace
think
an
that's-
unarmed
Yes.
attack with it. So so
That's
since
it,
she gets
yeah.
the extra,
Oh, I can replace an unarmed, any unarmed,
I believe.
Basically,
so.
like anytime you would be able to take an unarmed attack, you can do a sunbolt.
if I did a sunbolt already, or any time at all.
I think that's the part
Because
I'm.
if it's any time at all, I could still do one.
Then you could do it. Yeah.
When
That's the part
when you
that
take
I'm.
the attack action on your turn and use a special attack as part of it, you can spend a key point to make the special attack twice as a bonus action.
Because if burning the wall counts
Oh.
as an action, then I get a bonus action, and I could use a sunbolt if you can use that as any bonus action.
I just read it.
think
I
that-
don't think you can.
Oh yeah. So you can only do. Oh, so you can only do it when.
You have to attack
you-
in order to be able to get the bonus
Yeah.
action attack.
Right. Well, I would. I mean, I would count the like you're technically attacking.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
wall with
Like,
a
what
torch.
is the burning of the what does that count as?
That counts as an attack? Yeah.
If that's an attack, then I could do a sunbolt.
It has to be the
Oh, but
sunbolt
it does
has to
actually
be,
say-
the sunbolt has to be the attack to do it as a bonus
Yeah,
action.
that's the thing. Is
Yes,
like
yes,
I feel
okay.
like the magic counts as being armed.
Right. So it's so you can only use the sunbolt as a bonus action. So the sunbolt being a bonus action can only happen when you use the sunbolt as your action.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's either
That
all
makes sense.
sunbolts
So, yeah.
or like action.
So
sunbolt,
she's
yeah.
just gonna be running around burning things.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, so that means then that the initiative 0, the initial section of wall that you lit on fire is gone, has burned away, and there's just a big gaping hole right next to you. And the second section takes 4 damage, so it's well on its way to burning. So there's just a big, just burning hole in the maze right there that is just you can just pass through, and that will also, again, with your previous survival checks, you can tell that that hole that you just made will bring you like deeper into the maze than you have previously been. So that will allow you additional progress.
She'd probably go and like peek her head around and try and see like what's over there.
Okay. Yeah, just like fresh, undisturbed, like clean snow. Like you have not been through this section yet, and you're closer through the maze at that point.
Guys, if we just burn through, it seems like we can get through.
Okay.
That
Keep
will
going.
then bring us back up to the top with Montblanc's turn.
Is there? Can I see it, or did I have to do it?
It's right in front of you. It just attacked you. Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I don't went through the wall.
Well, so the wall. It's since you push it 5 feet, and it's a 10-foot creature. It's
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
half in, half
All right.
out. Yeah.
My burning flail.
Okay.
Math 26.
Absolutely yes.
Okay. So that'll be 9 bludgeoning,
Okay.
4 fire,
Okay.
bonus action. I really hope it doesn't heal from cold, and I'm gonna summon the tentacle.
Okay.
And the tentacle's gonna go for a hit. And I'm gonna summon the tentacle on the opposite side of it.
Okay. So like right next to Princess.
Yeah.
Okay. So tentacle just like pops up out of the snow next to you.
Lovely.
I don't imagine a 14 hits.
Just barely misses.
Okay. But the tentacle's just like.
Yep. And it does. I will tell you, it did appear to be resistant to the fire damage that you did to it. It's like because this one in particular is like very like lively green material and covered in ice, so it is especially resistant to fire. But like still better than healing it. I will tell you that.
Reaction to pee on it.
All right,
That's my
that'll make
turn.
it the mound's turn. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna go for the one that just came up and slashed at it with the new one that slashed at it. So 2 attacks against Princess. The first one's a 23,
Yeah.
and the second attack is 17.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Okay. All right, now it's rolling well. You're raging, right?
No.
Oh.
Oh, did you not? Okay. Oh. So the first attack is gonna be 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Second attack is gonna be 15 points of bludgeoning damage for a grand total of 25.
Okay.
And then, since both attacks hit, Princess is automatically just grappled by this thing, as just both, like, as each one hits you, like, vines just, like, kind of attach on and grab around you and just, like, manages to wrap you up and grapples you automatically.
Cool.
All right. Making your turn, though.
Yeah. Okay. I will what am I doing? I miss cause fear. That's so
Correct, yeah.
Okay, okay. Now I would like to rage.
Yay!
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, and I will try to get out of this hold.
All right, go ahead and roll. You have advantage.
Yeah. Ooh, natural 20. That's for a 23.
Nice.
You do manage to, like, step back and use your action to, yeah, just yank out of its grip. It does not have you grappled anymore.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. All right, but I think that was your action and bonus action, so that'll bring us to Tedros.
He will bang on his shield and get a little bit closer. Say, "Hey, over here!" And he will, he will cast Chill Touch.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead. So that's an attack roll.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Did you know that sometimes you roll a natural 20 on a spell attack?
Hey.
Nice.
Oh, that's actually really good damage. 13 damage total and necrotic damage, and it can't heal until the start of its next turn. Until it can't
Nice.
heal on its next turn.
Fuck, I should have
Right.
kept lightning.
Okay. So yeah, just its hand reaches out and just you can see the plants around it wither and die a little bit. Bringing us to Yule's turn.
She's like probably exploring the unburnt section of the maze.
Okay. It's not long before you come to just like another wall, like just in the next maze section.
She'll just keep burning vines.
way.
Okay. All right. You just reach out, start poking, start burning. All right.
Full on magic
So-
school bus field trip. Just
Pretty much as soon as she hits a wall, it's like,
Come on,
can I burn
magic
through it?
school bus.
Yeah, you're just gonna start poking it with just poking your way through the torches. All right. At the end of the initiative order, then the section of wall right next to the first one you burned is nearly gone at this point. You've nearly opened a 10-foot wide gap. And then the section right that you just poked is halfway to gone.
Fantastic.
All right.
So
She, about how far away from everybody else is that?
probably you're probably down like 30 feet this way from them, and they're also like 30 feet this way. So 30 times the square root of 2 is the direct line answer, but
Because regardless of whether or not it would be logical to keep yelling back to them, like, I'm keeping going forward, like even if
Yep.
they couldn't hear, she would be like yelling
They can-
back about
they
what
can still
she's
hear you
doing.
because there's just an uninterrupted path behind you of just like smoldering holes in the wall.
So yeah, she's like, I'm keeping going.
All
As she
right.
burns
Don't
every
die.
vine within her reach.
All right, that'll bring us to Monty's turn.
Sigh. Tentacle's gonna go first.
Okay.
And just so you know, the tentacle is considered a magical spell attack.
Okay.
Okay, in the rules, that's what it says. But
Mhm.
tentacle, 15 to hit.
Exactly what you needed.
Fuck me. All right. 10 cold damage.
Okay, nice. Still good damage, even though it's resistant.
And if I remember, Its speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Yep. So its speed is, based on what you saw, it has currently a 10-foot speed.
And flail. Which is
Okay.
currently fire. Now.
Yep.
15.
Yeah, exactly what you need to hit.
Oh my god. 14 bludgeoning.
Nice, nice.
And 3 fire.
Okay. Okay. It is still looking pretty good, but it's looking like, it's slowed down and everything and getting kind of singed. That will bring it to its turn. It is going to move. It will move 5 feet. It will not leave Princess's threatening range, but it will leave Montblanc's.
Does it leave my tentacle has a 10-foot reach, so it doesn't leave my tentacles.
It doesn't leave the tentacles either, but just leaves yours as it goes and moves towards.
Yeah, I'll make an attack opportunity with my flail.
Moves towards Tedros.
That was almost a natural 20. 14 plus 7. 21.
That hits.
Okay.
Yep.
Huh. Math. 7 plus 8 for bludgeoning.
15.
Okay.
Whoa, nice.
And 2 fire.
Okay. All right. And it's going to get up to Tedros, and it's going to make both slam attacks against Tedros because he was making a target of himself.
Good.
All right.
Don't die.
22 to hit.
Okay, yeah, that'll hit. That'll hit.
And 16 to hit.
16 misses.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like it hits you. Like it looks like it was trying to grab onto you, same way it did Princess, but only hitting with one attack doesn't give it enough purchase, and you're easily able to just pull out of the vines that are grabbing around you. And you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
That all.
And that is its turn, bringing us Princess.
Still in my range, right?
Yeah, still right next to you.
All right, then I'm going to make an attack with that lovely weapon.
Okay.
That is, I can't read numbers. Okay, that is a 20 to hit. I can't
That absolutely hits, yes.
Yeah, okay. And that would be I'm reading my own freaking chart. Okay, that is what am I doing? Average, so it's
2 more from range.
9. Yeah, plus 9. I love my
11?
brain's not working right now. 11 damage. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then bonus action again, the other.
Okay.
That is 21 to hit.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and then that is plus 2. Then that is 9 damage.
Okay. Yeah, it's looking much less good at this point. That'll bring us to Tedros. It's right in front of you.
He gets up and brushes himself off and says, "Is that all you got? Why don't you hit me like a man, huh?" And he will take the dodge action.
Okay.
Nice.
To try and keep taunting it and focused on him.
Okay. All right. That'll make it Yule's turn. Yule, you are just still burning your way through.
Yeah, she's still just like trying to get as far as she can with fire.
All right. Yule is just burning her way through the maze. Okay. At the end of your turn, let's see how the fire does. So the section, yeah, now there's a full 10-foot burning section where you left, just like on either side smoldering. And then the one you just lit on fire is gone. So you can see actually now that you've burned your way through, there is like, you can see that there is even from your low height, you can kind of tell like based on like distances and everything, there's one more layer between you and just out the other side of the maze.
Wow.
She pushes forward and just keeps
Okay.
burning.
Okay. Montblanc, back to you.
How far away is this thing from me?
Like 5 feet.
Is it still like half in the wall?
No, technically it stepped out, but the opening behind it stayed.
Oh. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah. Like it doesn't like morph through the wall. The walls just kind of like part
Okay.
when it goes past them.
I'm gonna bonus action tentacle.
Okay.
Oh, these natural 20s are getting taken away from me. 16 to hit.
Yeah, that still hits.
Okay. 7 cold damage. And
Okay,
its
round
speed
it
is
down to
reduced.
3.
And its speed is reduced by 10.
Yep, so it's got a speed of 10 right now.
And then running up behind it, and the flail comes down as I let out a howl.
Nice.
21 to hit.
Yep.
For 12 bludgeoning
Okay.
and 2 fire.
Looking absolutely like hot garbage. It's a little smoldering. That's falling apart. The plants are like browning and dying. It is going to go after Tedros, who keeps taunting it. So it's going to make its attacks at a disadvantage because he took the dodge action. So that is a 24 or 12 to hit.
12 definitely misses.
So just dodge out of the way of that. Hits the ground, kicks up dirt and everything and pebbles from the ground and snow. Second attack is a 15 or a 23, so it's the 15.
Also misses.
And yeah, just swings across, aiming for your head, and you just like dodge down to the side, angle your shield up, it just like skates off the shield and goes over your head, and you take no damage from any of those hits, bringing us to Princess.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Same.
Just attack, all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll.
That probably does not hit. It's 11 to hit.
No, that one does not hit.
It did not hit. All right. I can't really do anything for a second. I have to land. Yeah. I don't think I can do much else in this moment.
You can attack with your bonus action still.
But I can still attack with my bonus action?
You don't need to hit.
To...
You just
yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna. Okay, I thought it'd hit. Okay, then I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. So that is Let me go back into the web. That is that's a 20 to hit.
That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage. And don't forget to add your 2 for raging.
Is it just the rage bonus on offhand attacks, like for 2-weapon fighting?
Yeah, because you don't, unless you have the 2-weapon fighting style, allows you to add your strength or dexterity to offhand attacks.
Okay, that's 11 damage.
Wait, wait?
Or wait, is that right?
No, because
It should just the +2. You don't add your
just the
strength.
+2. Okay,
Yeah.
So then that would be
8.
Yeah, 8.
Nice. How would Princess like to finish off this shambling mound?
Woo!
It's like, gosh, miss it. Princess is gonna miss, obviously, the first thing, but like then while it's like not paying attention, just like the other, and just like straight into where its heart would be, and
Ooh,
just
nice.
like then rip it out.
Yeah, it just like trembles and like scrabbles at Tedros and like in his shield and armor and everything as it just like withers and dies and just like falls to the ground, just like falls apart into just like a pile of dead plant matter.
He just stands there with his shield like up, just looking at it as it just sinks to the ground.
Nice. All right, and combat is over, and it's like right at that point that like you like poke the final wall with your torch, and it burns away, and you can just see like straight out to those walls that you saw with the gargoyles on top of them.
Well, this is quite
You're muted.
welcome. Don't know stealth is much of an option anymore, but certainly.
Yul would just kind of yell like, "I'm through!"
And you'll yell back, and like you look over, and you can see like where, like, because Montblanc, you haven't, like Montblanc especially, you lost track of Yule because the thing was in the way and
Still a
you couldn't see
werewolf.
past it.
Yeah.
That also, but like you and Princess like look back and see just like where she was, just like a burning hole in the wall of the maze. And as the three of you make your way back in that direction, you can just see like burning hole, burning hole, burning hole, burning hole.
Just a
Just like,
whole tunnel.
yeah, it's like a smoldering tunnel through the maze out the other side where Yule's just standing there holding a torch.
Does it look like it's continuing to burn and like making the hole wider? It's just like that contained hole.
Little bit, but it doesn't really burn past that. It looks like it's contained like in like 5-foot sections.
Okay, I was worried that we're burning down the whole maze. Okay.
Just a little doorway.
And actually, as you look, like you can see that as you're moving around, like other sections of the maze are like reshaping and reforming. It does not seem to be able to heal those holes, so like they're just like permanent openings. Any of the sections you damaged and just like bashed your way through or burned your way through, those are just permanent openings.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my werewolf form up just in case.
Okay.
It lasts for an hour or until
Nice. So yeah, you make your way through. The shambling mound is dead, and the maze has been burned through. So do all of you go and meet Yule at the other end?
Yeah, I grab my coat.
As you get to Yule, she's just kind of like jumping and bouncing up and down, excited that she was able to burn her way through a maze.
Good job, Yule.
Yeah, good job.
We can go straight through now. There's the gargoyles.
Yeah. You should probably put that out before you. I got it. And he
She'll just hand it to him.
Yeah, he'll take it and kind of shake it, and as he's shaking it, he'll cast prestidigitation to douse the lit torch.
All right.
Tedros doing good.
Fantastic.
All right. As you get to the other side, you can see the ice-coated walls of the fortress. They are... I'm looking at the wrong document. 30-foot tall walls, top like stone walls, topped with like parapets, covered in ice that's like just been frozen to it over the years. Gargoyles on top of the wall, like 4 of them spaced at intervals. Also, like most of them also coated with ice. The one that you saw move actually is like the one that's like still back to freezing. Like the other ones are pretty coated in a good layer of ice. The couple things you notice. Most of you are probably looking at that open gateway, which is just sitting completely open. The portcullis is like up and looks like it's even frozen in place. But there's just kind of like a semi-transparent, like mostly transparent mist, just kind of like hanging in the gateway that you can now see that you're closer. Tedros, on the other hand, your vision is directed actually downwards. As you're looking, you can see that the walkway on the ground, you kind of see like as the wind is blowing, you can see through the ice on the ground, and you can actually see that kind of mottled red, blue, green, black, and white material on the ground. You can see it actually forms like a path on the ground, and where you're standing, it leads in towards the gateway, but it also leads off to one side, kind of like looks like it would have been at one end of the garden. But it leads directly to the edge of a cliff where it's just immediately just like looks like something's been broken off, as like maybe a section of that cliff fell at one point.
I think I know where the rest of the castle broke off from that part that we were taking shelter in. He points at it. And I think maybe you were right. I don't know if it was recent or happened a long time ago, but it's possible that maybe at one point in time she was making use of whatever that focus was.
Interesting.
All right.
Did you spot our statues? Do we have to worry about them coming down here or something?
I don't think they come down. I think they stay up there. But who knows?
Do they seem like they don't like us?
I don't imagine they speak. Like we're in like range of them, yeah? We could see them.
They're up on top of the wall. You can back up a little bit to see them because they're kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah.
But they are just like sitting up on the wall, just like hunched over, like decorations.
Yeah. If they could see, I would imagine that they could see us. Like we're not hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
I don't think. I think it's more of a "don't touch me" sort of thing. But it's either that or go through that door, the doorway. That seems whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it's like a 10 foot wide open gateway. Just a big open archway, basically. But yeah, some kind of mist, just kind of like hanging in the just in the middle of the gateway.
And you said the open gates are a trap?
Yeah. I'm gonna kick some snow into it.
But what if someone just forgot it open?
Tedros will take the torch and he'll throw it through.
Okay.
Like at chest height.
Okay. The snow you kick through just kind of kicks through. Nothing happens to it. You throw the torch through and it like tumbles through the air. Everyone make me perception checks as you watch the torch fly through the air.
Perception.
19.
It's 23.
12.
16.
Okay. The werewolves
Yeah.
both see as it's tumbling through the area. It doesn't look like much happens to it, but both of you are watching it very keenly. You can see it just get like coated in a thin layer of frost, and like the wood, like in a couple places, very subtly like split and crack as it passes through, but then lands in the snow on the other side. So like you have to see it do that in midair, but then as it lands on the other side, it like lands in the snow, and it's hard to see the consequences of it.
Looks safe enough.
No.
No?
No.
No?
Kind of it froze over a little bit. I don't really want to freeze. So
But you put snow through and you put a torch through, and then I'm confused.
The torch
Well-
didn't really make it intact.
Okay.
Huh?
the torch froze and cracked. So I imagine it's not, the snow was not affected as the torch was,
Yeah.
because snow is ice.
Oh, I'm not keen on climbing a wall. Tedros, do you have anything that can like cancel out the M word?
I wish. That's a little bit above my abilities right now.
I could try running through in my wolf form and see if anything happens to me.
Or
Not keen on that though.
maybe if it doesn't like, if it's cold, may I offer you a torch in this trying time? And he takes out another torch and lights it and says, try passing the flame through and see if it changes anything.
Alright, I still have Armor of Agathis up. One thing, Armor of Agathis, so... and I'll grab the torch from Tedros. In wolf form doesn't make a difference, but I hope it does, because I got a lot of fur.
Wait, passing through with
No, I'm
the
just...
torch,
no,
but
no.
as a wolf?
I'm just
Pushing the torch through.
I'm just pushing the torch through.
Poking the torch through. Okay,
And making sure like none of my fingers touch the mist.
Yeah. You can feel just like as you get close to it, like the temperature just starts dropping dramatically as you get closer and closer to it.
Yeah.
And as you stick the torch through, like the wind, like you can see the flame just kind of like flicker and just like slowly die down before just like getting complete, like dropping down to embers and then getting completely snuffed out.
Does like any ice?
And then
form
like
on
as
it?
you pull
Yeah.
as you pull back, like the amount you stuck through, just there's like frost coating around the outside. You can see the wood is like cracked and split in a few places, like it was flash frozen.
I hand it back to Tedros. Yeah, like that. Oh.
And while actually, and Montblanc for you though, while it felt uncomfortable, like it didn't feel with the proximity you got to it, it didn't feel terrible.
It just felt uncomfortable and didn't feel terrible. So, hand in.
Okay, you stick your hand in. It feels cold, but you can see that like the like ice and frost starts to form, but it's forming in the out. Like your armor of Agathis kind of like starts to like it kind of like it's formed to the surface and it's like filling in the gaps between your armor of Agathis, but it's like the frost is forming in the outside of it.
Okay, so I pull my arm out.
Okay, and it's like it's you pull your hand out, it's like kind of coated in ice, but as soon as you move your hand, it like snaps and cracks and like falls off into pieces.
I think it might just be I don't know. Everyone stay there, and I'm gonna step through, and then I'm gonna step through entirely, and then step back through on the other side with everybody else.
You step through.
Yep.
You feel cold, like really, really, really cold, but you come out on the other side, okay? Then you step back, and you're fine.
Okay. Nothing. It just really cold. I shake
So-
like a dog.
So is it
Like
really cold?
fragments of ice fall off.
So is it really cold over there, or just in the doorway?
Just seems like it's in the doorway.
Prince is gonna walk through.
Yeah, we should be fine.
Okay. Princess.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't think I would.
I'm
be-
worried.
is it because of Armor Vagathus?
That's what I
Mhm.
thought.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry.
This is fine.
Yeah, you're good. Princess is gonna take. So you just step on
Oh
through.
man, I feel so bad.
Okay, that could be worse. That could be worse. Yeah, okay. You take 9 points of cold damage
Okay.
as you step through, and just like ice forms and just like freezes, and you feel like frostbite forming as you just feel the coldest you've ever felt in your life, and you step forward on the other side to the point where like the snow feels warm once you get into the courtyard.
But after that, it's just going through it. Is the cold?
Yeah, it's like as you pass through it, it's like a flash freeze, but then when you get to the other side, you're fine.
No. Okay. Not that bad.
Not that bad. You look quite cold.
Why didn't it affect me?
Did you want it to?
No, I'm just curious. I feel bad now.
I
Well,
mean,
you
you're
are...
still covered in ice, right?
And hair.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
I
But
mean, you're kind of
Monty
always
is-
covered in hair.
But Monty's a Monty. Things affect him differently.
You do remember when you do remember when you stuck your hand through. It's like the ice that formed was forming on the outside of the armor of Agathis.
Right.
Question: the potions that we got was just like a regular potion of healing.
Yeah.
Yep, it's like 2d4 plus 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Tedros,
Yeah, 2d4 plus 2.
can't you warm things?
I'll try. And he reaches up and will cast prestidigitation to try and heat up the air in the doorway. Yeah.
A
Brutal.
little bit, but then like I mean, like it's like you can see like the mist parts a little bit, but then like another section of it just kind of just like fills in the gap.
If this cold,
Well, I just thought if you warmed up maybe one of us, then we could pass through
I
and
don't
not
know.
be cold.
I don't know.
I don't know if it works.
All
like
else
that.
fails. If anyone gets really hurt from this cold, I have a really potent healing potion on my person, just in case. It does like 10d4 plus 20. So,
Well,
But you
Let's.
can't warm up people?
actually, I got an idea. Yule, do you want a hug?
Yes.
I'm gonna pick Yule up and just like squeeze
No.
into my wolf fur. All right. If this hurts you, I apologize.
It's okay.
And I'm gonna run through the door.
Okay, running through covering. So you can't cover her entirely,
Yeah.
but you cover her mostly. So it's going to be reduced. You take 6 points of cold damage.
Yee. Thank
Definitely
you.
not as cold. You can feel like only the parts that Monty is cold right now because he's covered in magic ice, but like again, by comparison, that feels warm compared to the
Yeah.
frigid air around you as you pass through.
The free bits get cold.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
How long has it been since we fought the?
So 6 points of cold
6,
damage?
yeah. Since you fought the shambling mound,
Yeah.
couple of minutes. You
Okay,
didn't.
cool.
You like
So I
pretty much
saw-
walked right through the.
Okay. So my armor Vagathis
Yeah.
with my 1 temp HP on it, and my werewolf
Mhm.
form still have like a good hour or so left.
Yep.
Okay. And how long does because warlock? I can't remember. I have something else. Oh yeah, my. Never mind. My crimson
Okay.
right lasts for a while.
Yeah, and that leaves just Tedros on the outside.
Yeah, all right. And he will cast Prestidigitation to warm up his outer clothing to see if it'll work, and then just steps through as quickly as he can.
Okay, it is that warmth is immediately snuffed and sucked out of you as you're gonna take the full damage.
Yeah, armor Vagathis.
That is
I'll teach it to Tedros.
16 points of cold damage.
Mick, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Tedros is just like a popsicle in the doorway.
Yeah, you come out the other side. You're just like already shivering and kind of like your joints feel like locked up from the cold and everything. You can't feel your fingers.
Oh.
Tedros, do you need this potent healing potion?
Hang on to that.
All right.
Oh. Is there a safe place we can just take a minute?
What if we did a group hug and maybe we're warm enough to warm up Tedros?
I can actually describe to you what you see in the courtyard that you've just stepped
Excellent.
into now. Because actually, you've all gotten there. You stepped into a courtyard. It's kind of the wall behind you is kind of curved, and then the wall in front of you is kind of three-sided. And there is what looks like a main entry hall in front of you,
man.
and then two kind of side doors. There's a door on your left, a door on your right, and then a big set of double doors right in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Noted.
I don't suppose we could just sit here for a minute and catch a breather?
Yeah, we can if you need to. Yeah.
Are you okay, Tedros?
Oh, it's very cold.
It's all right, Tedros. You gonna be okay?
I'll be
Tedros?
fine. Just
Yule's gonna run up and like take Tedros's hands in her little hands and like start going trying to warm up his hands.
Oh my gosh. Are we taking a short rest? Is that what you're asking for?
I'm at a third of the juice here. I would not object to a short rest.
Okay.
With how much, I will tell you actually, with how much that just dropped your temp. Taking a short rest out in the cold will require an
Probably be
endurance, Constitution check against the cold. So,
Worth it.
an indoor space would allow you to do that without having to make a check.
All right, I cast Leo Min's tiny hut.
Yeah, if only you had it.
With
It's a different feat.
So here's
I'll take it.
What?
You described two different hallways in the main gateway, yeah?
So it's basically got a building in front of you. It kind of looks like it almost looks like there's like a main big entry hall, and then you've got like two smaller attached buildings on the left and right. So you've got left, right, center. Center is big double doors, and left and right look like smaller buildings with single sized doors.
Again, is there anything like tracks that would like the road less traveled by, I guess, in this region?
You don't really see tracks in the snow at all. No, just completely undisturbed snow.
Flip a coin. Heads we go left, tails we go right. I think we should probably check what's in there before we go through that main door.
Yeah.
Okay. Flip a coin.
All right. Heads it is.
All right.
So the left door.
Okay, going through the left door.
Yep.
Okay. So you trudge your way through the snow up. It's like a short little like staircase up to like a 2-foot staircase up to a landing, and then you open the door in. You open the door and step in, and I'll step inside.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tedros will take the lead on this, and he'll have his shield up.
Okay.
As he steps through.
As you open the door, you can see that it's dark in there. I know some of you have dark vision. I don't know
Yeah.
if I don't think everybody does.
I think we all do.
Does everybody?
I think
No.
everybody here might.
Absolutely not.
You don't have
No.
dark vision?
No.
I don't think I do.
You're a halfling tiefling?
I
I
paused
don't know.
when I
Have dark
built your
fun.
thing. I gave you dark
Think-
vision because you
think-
wanted dark vision for something. Swapped out. Oh, you don't have dark vision. Okay.
Yeah, no dark. Yeah. So Yule's the one that can't see in the dark. So do you have a light source basically as you're stepping in?
Yeah, he'll take out the half frozen torch and just shake his head and cast prestidigitation to light it again. If
Okay.
the frozen tip will light, he'll see. If
Yeah,
not,
it'll light again. Yeah, it's fine. So you light it, and as you step inside, you can see you're in a kind of almost the hallway kind of like it curves, but like in like a polygon kind of way, like in the way that like old video games made curves, where it's like a bunch of lines.
Yeah.
And every bit of wall in front of you basically has the appearance of a carnival hall of mirrors.
Oh, gross. I'm gonna listen.
As you step in, you see like a bunch of people holding torches.
Oh, that's so
but the
gross.
torch actually makes it easier because you can recognize that it's the same light source, just bouncing off of a bunch of different mirrors. You can see just copies of yourselves all over the place as you step in.
I'm gonna listen out and see if I hear anything.
Go ahead. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Ooh, I rolled double 4s for a 7.
Nothing.
We're not going in here, right? Like this is
This is weird.
This is very strange.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just close the door and back up. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. All right. Close the door, back up. You're back
so
outside.
weird.
Door number 2.
Yeah.
Like
And
on the right?
Tedros will hand the torch to Yulyanya, so she
And
can.
I'm gonna listen
see.
out,
Okay. Are you gonna listen while you're in the courtyard, or are you gonna listen when you get
like,
closer?
up against the door.
Okay. Up against the door. Go ahead and roll it.
Come on. 9.
You don't really hear anything.
It's fine.
All right.
Yeah. He'll kind of root around in the back because the 2 that were easily available are gone now, and he'll pull out a 3rd torch and he'll cast light on the tip and just stick that through.
So you open
Yes,
the
he
door and
opens
just
the
like
door.
stick it in. Okay. You stick the torch in and lean in. This place actually is as you open the door, you can just see just and just like candles or actually torches along the walls will light up with a pale green flame just like outward from the point of the door opening, illuminating the room. And you can see the room is filled with dozens and dozens of you see just humanoid shapes, just dozens of humanoid shapes as you open the door, like all like with weapons raised. But then you realize they're not moving, and you discover a hall filled with dozens of suits of armor lined up in rows in just this room, just rows and rows of suits of armor, just in various poses, just spread
Entered
out and just in like
castle.
10 rows.
It's just
Mhm.
Beast Castle in Kingdom Hearts.
Closes the door back. Okay.
Okay.
This is weird, right? This is not normal.
To be
This
honest,
We knew it was going to be weird when we came. We already
Yeah.
found.
We've got a
I've not seen that
mirrors
before.
and
I'd rather take the mirror room
Oh,
for some reason.
Oh. put
right.
it to a vote. Which one?
I vote mirror.
I've never seen any of this before, so honestly, all of it is fine.
You want to lead the way then?
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So you head back over to the mirror room.
Yeah,
Okay.
All awful.
It's all awful. Yeah.
it's all
You
awful.
haven't even checked the main door yet.
Do you want me to go first, Tedros?
No, I got it. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Alright.
I'll open the door.
Okay. Yeah, just mirrors everywhere. You see your own reflection, bounce back multiple times.
I'm gonna slowly walk
Mhm.
through
Okay.
and just looking out to make sure nothing like leaps out of the mirrors to grab me.
Nope.
All right, I think we're good.
Okay, are we resting here?
Yep.
Princess is gonna sit by the door.
Yep.
Okay.
Same.
All right. You close the door to leave to
so
keep
we
the warmth
just
in.
make camp by a doorway in a hall of mirrors.
Yep. Door
Seems like
closed to keep the cold out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the door closed and just like your torch is lit, it looks like you're sitting in just like a little pool of light in this just infinite reflection of mirrors going outward because like
oh my god.
the mirror, it's a hall of mirrors, right? So like they're on either side of like left and right of you. The only wall that doesn't have mirrors is the door. So like out in front of you, it's just like looks like this infinite void
Yeah.
of constant reflections and your own faces reflected back at you from every direction.
Princess is gonna be like peeled to like the furthest mirror reflection she can see to see if there's any movement that does not reflect their current movements.
Oh, good idea.
Okay, you watch and it's just regular mirrors.
I'm gonna flick one.
I mean,
It just kind of like makes the like
Upon-
reverberating sound of
upon
makes a very like actually when you flick it, give me a perception
Oh,
check,
for
a hearing based perception check.
Fuck. Natural 20.
Okay.
23.
You flick it and it like
Ding.
doom, rings out in a very hollow sound.
Oh.
I'll relay that. The mirrors have a hollow sound when you flick them.
All of them, or just that one?
I'll try another one. Ping.
Ding. Yeah, as you're just like as you
Yeah,
flick another one, it
seems
has the
like
exact
all
same
of them,
sound to it.
Can we deal with that?
Yulyanya, having never seen
I'm gonna deal with
these
this
types-
after I sleep rest. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna sit 5 feet in front of the group, towards the mirrors, like a guard dog.
Okay.
Having never seen these types of things before, Yulyanya would probably be scared at first, and then seeing Monty going around flicking stuff would be like, "Oh, it's fine," and run up and just like stare into her reflection.
Okay. You can all go ahead and take a short rest then.
I am no longer a werewolf.
Yeah, just Montblanc just shrinks back down.
Yeah. And my armor Pegasus is gone.
Take a short rest in the
Monty,
totally
you're no
normal
longer
and not weird Hall of Mirrors.
Oh, short rest.
Alright, I have to go into my character builder and turn off hybrid form.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's the only way they can handle it for like the mechanical changes.
Oh.
That makes sense, yeah.
And I don't know, that's cool.
Monty, you're no longer a wolf,
Nope, put coat back on.
so
Nope.
you can do that whenever you want.
Currently I think once a day.
Oh, I thought
it
that
not?
you were a werewolf in the kind of way where you only change when the moon was full.
Nah, I can do it at will. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I hope so. I hope nothing bad happens.
Well, you helped us today, so that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Why is it not?
Princess, is that how your thing works?
It's supposed to automatically do it.
Yeah,
no.
that's weird.
No?
I think you have to click the dice when I don't know.
I mean, how do you mean? How does it work?
Like, can you turn into a wolf creature at will?
Hopefully, that is the end goal. Eventually.
Just not right now.
um,
I'm sorry, I didn't want to make you uncomfortable.
you know, you're not uncomfortable. It's just, I'd rather not, I'm not quite sure. Haven't practiced recently.
But it's going to be a full moon soon.
I don't really have control out of that. That's out of my hands, as it were.
So, but you want to have control. Do you want to be able to use your werewolf form to fight?
Sorry, what was the last thing you said? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
You want to use your werewolf form to fight better?
Well, of course, I want to use all of the gifts that I've been given to their full potential. This whole conversation, Princess still eyes peeled to the end of the hallway. But so yes, of course, I want to use all my abilities to the best, to their full range to accomplish my goals.
I just
But,
thought maybe you both didn't want to be wolves. And so seeing Monty turn into a wolf because he wanted to, that's new.
I'm very much content with my current circumstances.
That's fair.
If you're asking. I do not see it as a curse. It is a gift. As all things are if you look at them in the right light.
Yeah.
A gift from someone you didn't know.
At the time, yes. A gift from someone I didn't know.
Do you know them now?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you'd like to finish it, whenever you finish up your short rest, the Hall of Mirrors does not disturb you in any way.
All right.
Our HP is no longer 5+, right?
I think how long that lasts for 8 hours.
Yeah. So yeah, so if you whatever
So
you heal, yeah, your max HP is still up to that point.
neat.
You got another 7 hours worth of it.
Mm-hmm.
About or 6 maybe.
Oh yeah, Princess. While you're actually sitting there staring off into the mirrors for the duration of this hour, just like because the light, it's weird. It's like the light kind of fades eventually, so it gives that sense of like sitting in just a black endless void when you're sitting in a hole of mirrors in the dark. You can see at the edges of the light like several reflections into the mirrors, faces and figures and shapes and people moving to and fro, just out of the range of vision. And at first it's startling, but then they're all very familiar faces and shapes to you, and you realize that it's just what you're used to seeing.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, oh, okay.
Oh,
I had that heart attack along with Princess.
Yep.
I was wrong. I can use my hybrid transformation once per short rest.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Nice.
back.
Perfect.
Cute.
Fantastic.
Okay. So you finished your short rest. Now what are you doing?
Wait, so are they just like chilling? My friends just chilling?
And yeah, it's like it's very like corner of your eye, out at a distance, just like several reflections deep in the constant repeating reflections, just like at the edge of your vision, just at the edge of the light and everything, just kind of like moving back and forth, just like going about their business.
Okay. Just chilling, scaring the shit out of me like you.
Yeah, like
All right.
like they do. Yeah.
So we just push forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm much warmer, much warmer.
All right.
Still too cold in here, but we can take care of it.
Righty. Soldier
All right.
on.
Where are you headed?
Through this room.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there a through way through this room? Like,
You get up and just like explore a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. You kind of make your way through, and you come to a dead end. It's kind of almost like one just like twisting single hallway that just leads to a dead end with just nothing but mirrors.
Is there a mirror at the very end of the corridor on a wall?
There is, yes.
When it's maybe there's a doorway through here. Smash.
Okay. So actually, you would be able to tell that the one like at the very end of the wall is like up against like the wall of the building.
All right. I'm gonna try to pry a mirror off the wall and see if there's like a doorway behind it.
You can't really get behind them. No, they're not like mounted on the wall. It's like
Okay.
the wall is made of solid
cool.
mirrors.
I'm gonna attack one of them.
Okay, so you just turn and smash one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just turn, you take the flail and just glass just shatters and falls to the ground. And yeah, this one, you shatter through, and there's another hallway behind it. Still more mirrors.
No, what the fuck? Well,
And
But are the
Montblanc.
mirrors over here able? Can we go through all of the mirrors in here too?
Probably
Real
not.
quick, Montblanc. You find yourself under the effects of the Bane spell.
no save?
Breaking a mirror is bad luck.
Not really. Oh, that's
Well, in
dumb.
this room it appears to be.
Well, there's a doorway. I just feel a little weird. Nothing serious. But there is a corridor beyond this mirror with more mirrors.
Yulyanya would step through and do what
Okay.
she saw Monty do. And
Yeah.
flick one of the mirrors in there and see.
Okay, Monty and you will both. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get out. That's
hollow?
why I heard a hollow sound. The mirrors have doorways behind each one.
But which
Yulyanya,
one is the one we need to go through?
Who knows?
real quick, Yulyanya and Montblanc, both of you make perception checks when Yule flicks the next mirror,
I want to drink my
and
water.
it's hearing based.
Cap on. Sorry, this is a hearing based perception check?
Yep.
Advantage. 19 plus 3.
Okay.
The D20 I was using just disappeared.
Okay. I will tell you the
Oh,
Montblanc got high.
Found
Okay.
it. I found it. Oh,
Okay.
holy shit. Okay, wait. You said it's a perception check?
Yep.
Mhm.
21.
Nice.
Very
Okay, both of you.
nice.
Both of you hear a very distinct and different dunk That one does not sound hollow.
All right, so some of them are hollow, some aren't. The ones that are hollow have corridors behind them.
Well, actually, so what you see is, you are, like, kind of mapping it out. You're like the one you broke, the one you can turn in there's a mirror directly next to it. You connect, like you can just like going Yule or Monty, whoever is like in the doorway. You can touch both sides of that mirror. So it seems like all of the mirrors that you just walked by were just mirror on either side. And it's not like separate hallways through them. It's like there's this another, like every mirror you break would lead into this new corridor.
Okay, so it's a long wall of mirrors, but all of them lead to the same room.
Yes.
Gotcha.
At least Bane only lasts for a minute.
So the mirror that the mirror Yulyanya like plucked, that was on one of the side walls.
No,
So-
that's if you go through to like one of the ones in front of you in the new corridor.
Yeah,
flick
sorry.
that one.
So in the new portal, which is the
Mhm.
room that all the other mirrors lead to, right?
Yes.
So when you're in there, though, plucking one of those is a wall.
The one that you hit, yes.
The one that I hit, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Really quick, Tedros and Princess can give me either investigation or survival checks.
I will. I guess I'll do a survival check.
Okay.
Actually, I'll give Princess advantage on her survival check if I can.
Okay.
Thank you. God, thank you. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. That is that's 24.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, from the like looking at this room and then kind of looking into the next like core, and like everything is kind of twisty turny, but you can kind of tell it's like it was like one kind of like twisty turny hallway and like a parallel twisty turny hallway right next to it. Looking at this, you can tell there's still not, like, you saw the building from the outside. The amount of space you can see in here still doesn't account for how big the building should be.
Okay. So my understanding is that it's something pulls back, kind of like this. Or like we came through the door, we were like flicking stuff over here, and then eventually broke a mirror like here, and then the whole line of it here. But the rest of this still doesn't account for.
Correct. Like, so as far as you know, actually, so like if you moved where you have mirror wall written up like, a little bit, so it's about a third of the size of the whole place. That would be more accurate. And then the new mirror wall is like another third.
Got it. Okay.
The hallway that they made, Prince is just gonna like wolf whistle down the hallway and like listen for like, I don't know, when it's an echoes back.
Okay, it doesn't take too long to echo back. But as you're all hanging out and like poking around in here, and Yulyanya is flicking mirrors, yeah. Yulyanya, can I get a charisma saving throw for you?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, sorry, strength check. Can I get a strength check? Strength check.
Do I feel a draft?
Not really.
Okay.
That was a 6.
Okay.
If this was golf, you'd be golden.
Let's see.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay.
Mirror.
Nope. Stop.
Montblanc.
Oh, hello.
You see, you're saying you see Yulyanya walk up and flick the mirror, and then all of a sudden Yulyanya, you just like lift up off the ground, floating into the air. As you like try and like fight against it, you find yourself just like floating up
Levitate.
straight into the air, and then just Yulyanya just comes flying straight back up Montblanc, and Montblanc 22 hits you. Yes.
Yeah, it's good thing I don't have armor with Agassiz up.
Yeah. As you both take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as Yulyanya just careens into Montblanc, and the two of you just go like just slams into him.
It seems like each mirror might have a separate magical effect on it. Not sure.
I thought they were just doorways.
Fascinating.
Hey Tedros, could you do like your magic detection thing in
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, okay. Just give me a moment. And he, do we need to do this quickly, or can I take a moment?
You can take a moment.
All right, then he'll ritual cast detect magic.
I
Alright, did you
won't
start ritually
select any
casting Detect
more
Magic?
mirrors.
As you start ritually casting Detect Magic, you just hear this like tinkling sound of glass as just like a pile of broken glass floats up off the floor and starts points first at 3, 4. Let's randomly determine princess, and then
No.
just
Mind her business.
like
Yeah, Princess
shards of glass come flying at you.
If he can, Tedros will jump in front of it and hold his shield out.
You're too busy ritually in the middle of ritually casting, like starting the ritual, and like you just notice them go flying past you. That is, however, a 6 to hit princess.
Oh man.
She's too quick.
Yeah, so you just like dive out of the way as they like fly over and then just like shatter against the stones.
What was that?
I mean, you saw it. You were standing right there. You just saw
okay.
like glass fly
I
right
thought we were
past you, right
indifferent.
at princess.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Fuck this. Yeah. Oh my god.
Tedros is like looking. He's like, "Am I continuing this?"
I say yeah, just for the sake of things.
Yeah.
He will continue to ritual cast, but the next time that someone gets attacked, he's gonna stop and
I'm gonna
use a slot.
ready a dodge action in case anything comes flying at me again.
Okay.
Just be like,
All right.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I'm ready, Dodge.
Just like
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Just keeping an eye out. All right. Yeah. Let's see. So where's everybody standing exactly?
I'm standing by the mirror that that Yulyanya got picked up in the air and thrown at me from. I'm still in my same
Okay.
spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're like right,
Just
like I'm
standing
in front of
by
him.
Tedros, like over.
Okay.
Tedros, yes.
Montblanc.
Oh jeez.
Advantage.
Yeah.
21 hits you, right?
Come on. Yeah.
All right.
My pecs aren't
You
out.
take 50. What?
My pecs aren't out.
Okay. Oh wait, actually, that should have been disadvantage with
Yeah,
the
'cause I took
advantage,
the
but the
dodge
first
action.
roll was the higher one anyway. Yep, but the first one was the higher one anyway. So,
Oh.
you take 15 points of force damage as just something just clocks you across the side of the head.
All right.
Like it just feels like you just got hit with something.
All right, I'm out. I look around actually for it.
You see absolutely nothing.
All right, I'm out. See ya. Something just invisible hit me in the head, so I'm done. This
I
room's-
love Montblanc's logic. Always like, oh, let's go now.
I'm done with this room. This room sucks.
We'll fight a whole plant entity and
Oh,
then be
this
like,
is- this-
something hit my
This
head.
is bullshit. This room, no.
This whole building is bullshit.
I'm not trained to deal with this kind of stuff, so.
But I mean,
Montblanc,
you-
go ahead and real quick and make me an intelligence check with proficiency.
Okay.
As you say, I'm not trained to deal with this stuff.
Oh, are these fucking fairy dragons?
No.
Okay, because that would have been funny. Intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
not great. 13.
Okay. You're not entirely sure,
would
but
this
it
be
might be.
would this be with my monster hunting? Oh, that's
Yes.
wisdom. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're not entirely sure what's going on here. You're a little
Yeah.
rattled.
I'm out. I'll just
Okay.
wait outside the door.
Right.
Alright.
All right, enough of this. And then Tedros will stop and just cast it with a spell slot and start.
Okay, you're just gonna
looking around.
cast detect magic. Okay. You detect. What? Let me just double check what School of Magic Bane is.
I think it's enchantment.
Yeah. Yep, it is. Okay, you detect enchantment magic on all of the mirrors. But aside from that, you don't detect any additional magic.
He will look past the initial row of mirrors to
Mhm.
the back row of mirrors, or is
Also
it every
magic.
single mirror? all
Every
of
single
them.
mirror. All of them have some kind of enchantment magic on them.
While I'm standing outside, I'm drinking a potion of healing.
Okay. Also, once you get outside, Bane ends on you.
I don't feel weird anymore. As I yell through because I closed the door behind me when I came out because I didn't want anything following me.
I guess just I don't know. We don't know what the other room looks like anyway.
Is the armor right?
Yeah, the like dozens of suits of armor, and then there was still the center, like main looking
I
chamber.
want to open that door.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk over and just Aragorn style push the doors open.
Yeah. The armor door, the armor room, specifically. Oh, yay! Yeah,
Just in time for me to vanish for a second.
the armor, specifically the armor door. We had all the suits of armor behind it, not the double doors.
Oh, not the double doors.
Yeah, I don't want to
Okay, so
open
you
those
go
by
push the armor.
myself.
Oh, okay. So you open the armor door. Okay.
Yeah.
You open the room up and you can see, yeah, there's dozens of suits of armor in like 10 rows lined up in various poses.
Hello? Anyone in here throwing shit?
No response.
I close the door and I go back to where I was outside,
Okay.
drinking the potion of healing.
Okay. Just goop, goop, goop.
That's
All right.
that's
Everybody
what I'm
else.
doing.
All right. Everybody else still in the mirror room, or?
I think we're leaving.
Well, I mean, Yule would be very having just crashed into Monty, she'd be very aware of like what he's doing and where he's going, and probably follow him.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if no one else, I'm not staying in this motherfucker by myself. I'm not.
Okay.
No.
Let's wait for Tedros to come on.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all just leave. All right.
Yeah. And before his detect magic drops, he'll go straight into the other room.
Okay. Straight into the armor room.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You detect whatever the spell is, whatever the spell type is for continual flame.
Conjuration?
On
Or evocation?
Yeah. Evocation on all of those green lit torches.
Got it. And none of the suits of armor give off any of that.
Nope.
Okay. Like full plate and everything in here.
It looked like it, yeah.
Are they coming towards the door or away from the door?
They're all kind of facing different directions.
No, that's worse.
Yeah.
It's much
maybe-
worse. Tedros will pick a
Poke
suit
one.
of armor that's like further away, and he will cast Chill Touch and just like fire off this bolt of this like bolt shaped like a talon at like the furthest one in the room.
Kind of like disperses on it. Doesn't really have an effect because it's an object.
Yulyanya would probably like walk further into the room and just kind of be like studying each shield of armor, suit of armor.
Okay.
But remembering specifically that Viktoria and Galina, like, they're not here, but their influence will always be with her. And she's probably just remembering them being like, don't just randomly touch stuff.
As you go further in, you naturally are looking up at everything. So you're kind of looking up past the suits of armor. Actually, you can see the rafters of the room. All up in the rafters, there's just like those kind of like cross beams and everything. Just about every single one of them, every inch of horizontal surface on those rafters has a humanoid skull sitting on it, just in like just all over the place.
Delete.
I think there's dead people.
There's always.
I'm
dead
sorry,
people.
what?
Like, look up.
Oh, that's what you meant. Oh.
I poked my head in, huh?
There's like
Oh, that can't be good.
people, at least skulls.
Oh.
That can't be good.
Yep.
Was the mirror room our best bet?
We have to try the front door.
I have a weird idea. Give me a second.
What
I'm
if
gonna-
we climb the tower like the golem?
I have a really weird idea. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna
I
walk
can't
over to
climb.
one of the suits of armor.
Okay.
Do they have like the visor for the helmet?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lift
Yep.
up the visor and look
Okay.
in.
Nothing inside.
Even like down in where the body is?
Nothing inside.
All right. That's weird. Sam rolled something. I heard it.
This
Make you paranoid.
this space is deeply disturbing.
I do that sometimes. It's fun.
I already do not like this witch
So
at all.
Princess is gonna step outside and look at the front door.
Okay.
Just like it's just a closed set of doors. Like, how big is this door?
It's a set of double doors. They're pretty solid, good size. They're probably maybe like 12 feet tall. Like they're those ones that kind of like curve up to a peaked point in the middle of the double door. So it's like 12 feet at the top. So like literally the size. Imagine the door, Aragorn stepping through and pushing open the double doors. That like those size doors.
Did the doors, the two main doors, register with magic when Tedros walked past them?
No.
Okay.
Princess is going to walk up and put her ear against the door.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. You don't really hear anything inside. Still air. Don't even hear the wind.
Looking at the hinges, does it look like it pushes in or it pull, or is it a pull
Looks
or
like
a
it's a pull door.
pull? All right. Are y'all still inside the other room? Turn around. You guys
Yup.
still inside? Okay.
Yeah. Tedros is checking to see if any of these suits of armor are there, like, is it like a full complement, like a full display unit with like weapons and shield and everything?
Mostly just, I believe it's just
The suits in
I think
various
it's just the
positions?
suits of armor. They're all holding swords.
Okay.
1 second. My computer is being very slow on pulling up my notes. Oh no, they have shields too.
Okay. He'll like tap the shield of one with his own shield, just the closest one, just to see if it does anything.
No. Two of you still haven't gone very far into the room, by the way. This room goes back like 10 rows deep.
So because of the skulls in the rafters, I checked that suit of armor to see if there's skeleton in it, and there isn't.
I just am a little uncomfortable with the skulls in the rafters.
I think that's the proper response for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any way to see if something's, dead?
But just because
Honestly?
something's dead doesn't mean it'll stay dead.
That's what I mean.
I don't have anything. I kind of wish I had done that before we stepped inside. Actually, how many times can I do that per day? Is this the one?
I sniff to see if I can smell undead flesh.
I mean, that's the thing, though, is that like
all the
it
skulls.
kind of smells like bones in here all over the place because the rafters are filled with skulls.
I'm specifically smelling for rotting meat.
No rotting meat.
Okay.
They probably don't have many visitors up here though. So, Tedros was like, "It's possible there might be something dead in here. I wouldn't be able to tell. I could kind of shoo them away, maybe." Do we need this room for anything?
I don't know. I just feel
But,
like
I mean,
okay.
I
this
feel
is
like
probably
these-
Victoria's favorite room.
I feel
but,
like these
you
two
know,
rooms
look it
have
up.
something important in them. That's the thing.
That's probably true. There's probably a lot of, very well made
At least the skulls aren't on
objects and
fire.
weird find things. Well,
But we're trying to get up the mountain, right?
Princess is gonna come back. I'm like, oh, as lovely as sightseeing would be, as I know, curiosity is my downfall as well. But priority is the boy. I
Yeah.
don't know if he would be here I don't know anything about this place, quite frankly, but
If we go through this place, would that be a way to get up the mountain? Or is there another way / a better way?
Yeah, the double doors.
yes.
I will tell you that the double doors appear to be the only one that goes in the direction of the tower.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Straightforward is often best. At least that's how I feel.
You're
Let's
right.
carry on forward.
I'm just gonna like
Mostly, I just didn't want to
look, yeah.
have something jump us from behind.
Well,
But
yeah. I'm gonna look behind me just to make sure none of the skulls moved.
I know that it would be worse coming past anything bad when we have the boy, but we're not going to know what we don't know until we know it.
makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Still paranoid, like looking back.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Oh. 19.
You swear one of the skulls is looking at you.
One of the skulls is looking at me.
All right, that's okay. Door.
Let's go.
Oh no, the door won't open.
Well, Princess was outside, holding the door open.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Like, okay. Yeah.
Princess is
Out we
like,
go.
come on,
Out we go.
let's
Out we go.
And let's just go up the mountain.
I look behind me still to make sure none of the skulls are floating and coming after
Walk
me.
out backwards.
Or on fire.
Nope.
Okay.
None of them have gemstones in their eyes. Nothing.
Well, that would be worse.
No.
A flame
That would,
skull.
that would be the fucking worst.
Judging from what we learned at the beginning of this session that we avoided, let's avoid this one too.
I'd rather fight a flame skull than a demolich.
So you make your way up to the double doors.
Yup.
Yes.
Okay. Push them open or pull them open.
Princess is gonna knock first.
Echoes in. No response.
Maybe nobody's home.
Here's hoping.
Yep.
I didn't imagine my knock made that much noise, but I guess it's really loud. All right. Like,
Tedros will pull the doors open.
Okay. Pull the doors open, and it opens up into a very nice entry hall as you enter in, similar to the armor room. Instead of torches, candelabra and like
More
chandeliers covered in torches. Not in this place, no. Like candelabra and chandeliers, all covered in candles, flare into the life into that green flame. This one has windows up near the ceiling, so it's letting in sunlight too. It's kind of a split level, so it's like the first floor comes in, and then there's about 20-foot wall in front of you up onto like almost a balcony, and an open second floor, like a loft almost, and then 2 sets of sweeping staircases lead up to the second floor.
No.
You can see just moth-eaten old furniture, like couches and sofas and tables and things around, like frames around artwork that is so rotted and fallen apart that it's like impossible to tell what it originally was.
Does Tedros have any time left on his detect magic?
How long does that last for?
10 minutes.
Yeah, you probably do then.
Is
And what's-
anything
what's
besides the torches?
The candles. What's the range on that?
It's 60 feet.
Okay. Not within 60. Not within 60 feet of the door. No.
This is all very deeply upsetting. None of this is okay.
All right. Upstairs or no?
I'm just gonna walk in like I don't know, a meter in towards.
Okay. Your feet just kind of like echo in this cavernous chamber that's just completely silent.
Yeah. Tedros will walk in, shield at the ready.
Okay.
Yulyanya would kind of be trailing behind people and like peeking around.
Taking
Okay.
the dodge action, yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. All right.
I'll take
Alright.
up the rear and just listen because it's so quiet.
Okay. Not really hearing much. You're all in the building.
All right. Up the stairs.
The door's just gonna like swing shut behind you.
You definitely did that, right, Montblanc?
Nope. I'm gonna turn.
No,
I'm gonna turn
you have
around
to have
and
done it.
just push on them.
They open and then like they naturally just gonna swing shut. Like they just, it's windy outside and they swing back inward.
It's just the wind, Tedros.
It's just okay. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that we had to walk in through a place that was very okay. Sure. All right.
I push on the door again to prove that it's just the wind.
Yeah, it swings back open and then just swings back shut.
Everyone,
Mm,
can we talk for a moment?
yeah.
I don't know what a witch is, but you keep talking about the fact that we're going to see a witch, and I know that the M word is involved. And Galina and Viktoria are the ones who've talked to me about this the most, and they're not here. So I know things are going to be weird and scary, but is there anything I should know going forward?
Don't make any promises with them if you see them.
Promises with a witch?
Yeah.
What would I promise a witch?
I have
No idea.
Like my firstborn child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That do it.
I've heard a lot about that from sister.
Your hands. Your eyes.
My hands or my eyes?
Eyes, tongue, liver,
I
spleen.
don't think I would promise any body parts to anyone.
While
Might
we're
wanna s-
talking, is it just echoes or it's like it's just echoes? Okay.
Alright.
There's
guess-
that. I don't think there's anything.
Is
Sorry?
it? I guess I'm just trying to say that I'm gonna be okay. I don't know what we're facing, but I think I'm gonna be okay, and I trust you guys, and we can get through this.
Yes, I'm certain we're just trying to find the best path. I do not doubt any of our abilities. We're just trying to find the
Oh, I
best.
was scared. Was no one else scared?
Nope.
Oh no, I'm very, very scared. This is
I'm fine.
incredibly creepy.
I'm
walk
fine.
around ruins.
I'm a-okay.
Okay,
I
well,
walk around.
Tedros, we can be scared together.
Yes, we can be. Favors.
Is
Don't
Montblanc lying?
promise any favors.
Make an insight check. Because my deception check was a natural 20 for a 22.
Wait, can I make an insight check too?
Go ahead.
Let me use this one.
That's actually my best. That's
Ah,
actually my
damn
best
it.
skill.
I got a dirty 20 though.
I only got a 12.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm gonna roll it. Fuck it.
Everything.
I've
He's
dealt with witches before. There was a witch in the jungle, the witch of the wild palm they called her, and yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, the rest of us don't necessarily have your expertise in this matter. Okay, so you might not be afraid.
Yep.
I have not encountered any word besides my own. So you guys are my first. So this is my second or third or fourth. We've fought a danger kitty.
Yep.
Mm.
I think we should proceed.
But a witch sounds bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So in this room, like there's a stairwell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
It's like two sweeping Beauty and the Beast stairs, like the ones that like they come down the ballroom like.
This is
two kinda-
Beast Castle. I'm sorry.
Two sweeping like those two like curved downward sweeping staircases up from like a second floor balcony up in front of you.
And they both lead to the same balcony.
Yeah, they lead. They
Okay.
kind of curve up to the same, like practically to the same place
and it's
And
the
is-
same thing that it doesn't look like it's been used. It's been there.
in a very long time.
I'm gonna look for traps around the stairs,
I'm gonna
Okay, go ahead.
scream
like
Kingdom Hearts
hidden
tomorrow.
panels or steps that when you push down a big boulder comes out of nowhere.
Okay, give me a perception check.
All right.
And while he's doing that,
Oh, that's
is there
cocked.
another door on ground level that goes like through the middle?
15.
Nope. You do
I
not
posted
find.
that.
You do not detect any pressure plates or tripwires or anything.
The stairs don't seem trapped or anything.
Okay. Tedros is gonna check to see if there is like a secret door that goes like deeper out and in, like on their
Okay.
ground level.
Give me an investigation check.
I can do that.
Here we go.
I cannot do that. That's 9.
No secret doors.
Cool.
Up the stairs we go then.
All right, heading up the stairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You head up the stairs and it leads up to like this big open, what once was a very opulent gallery, like again, couches and tables and lounges and like places to sit and relax and like these big chandeliers up above you. And then there's like a very shallow set of like wide, like long steps. Those ones where it's like you step up about this much, and then there's like several feet of step, and then you step up again, and like this old ratty, moth-eaten like carpet, like red carpet almost, that runs down that. And you can see an even bigger set of double doors set in that pretty much go all the way up to the ceiling here. Massive metal doors that go up to the ceiling, and these ones you can see lead out, look like they lead out onto the bridge, because through the windows on either side, all you can see out through those windows is just open air, because they lead out. The chasm looks like it's right on the other side of this wall.
I'm curious about something.
Real quick.
Oh, okay.
Set into the double door is a huge, massive indent, and kind of set into that indent, like it's built to go there, you see the enormous kind of spiraling shape of a some kind of large metallic reptilian creature set into the door, made of metal and clockwork, just kind of like curled up like it lives there, set into the door. And then about 30 feet in front of that is a little pedestal set right in front of it that seems to have some kind of indent on the top of it that you can't really see from back here.
I'm gonna go to the couch.
Okay.
One of the couches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm broke. Is there any coins under the cushions?
Are we just
Yeah,
gonna
you find
start
like 4
breaking
silvers.
people's pottery?
Oh my gosh.
I pocket it. All right.
Okay.
Princess would walk up to the pedestal.
Okay.
Not
you
touch
get up the
just
yeah,
look
you get
at them.
You get up to the pedestal and you can see that it has actually 2 indents. It's like 2 indents right next to each other. Essentially, imagine like the 2 halves of a yin yang symbol, like that kind of like curving teardrop shape. But like there's, as if like the 2 halves are missing, like missing from that, and like kind of like there's indents where pieces would go.
Tedros, what do you make of this?
I don't know. Some sort of mechanism, maybe. And he will take a look and see what he can see.
Okay. Anyone who'd like can make an investigation check on this.
While Tedros is doing that, does the mechanical reptile look like any creature that I've seen that it's kind of masquerading as?
Ooh, good question. Go ahead and roll me a monster hunting intelligence check to recall your training.
Justin has an idea, but I want to see what.
That's a 12 from Tedros.
I'm rolling so good tonight.
I feel like I should tell you that I got a a 2 in investigation.
Oh boy.
Got a 15 for investigation?
Okay.
Natural 20 for a 23 on the thing in the door.
Nice. Okay.
Come on.
Princess, looking at it, it's funny. You called Tedros over, and then you're the one that figures it out. You're looking at it, and just kind of like looking. You can see that there's like little plates and places on it that look like if something was put into there exactly the right shape, it would kind of like press down on the right things and activate some kind of clockwork and do something. And based on where it is in relation to the door and everything, this appears to be some kind of unlocking mechanism.
Does it also look unused?
Recently, yeah, but it's gathered some dust. Montblanc, though, looking at that thing, that looks like a very, very well made clockwork representation of a creature called a behir.
How did I know?
I don't know. I don't know how you know.
How did I just
You
guess
always
that?
know the monsters because you're a monster hunter.
No, but in my head, I'm like, how did I know that?
I really don't know.
It's very exciting.
Because I know there's a stat block for one somewhere. Anyways,
Yeah, there is.
I do know Behirs are way beyond our capabilities. Yes.
Bad news, yeah. You're all walking around in front of it and everything, and it is just cold and dormant. But like the split between the doors goes like right down the middle of it. So like this thing needs to move if the door is going to open.
All right, so that thing on the door is a representation of a Behir. It needs to move to open these doors.
What's over here?
I know what a Behir is, right?
Yeah, enormous six-legged reptile
that shoots lightning
capable
out of
of
its mouth.
breathing lightning. And
When
they
you say
are
enormous, it's the thing that you all saw?
No. This thing isn't humanoid. This thing is like a six-legged salamander.
Yeah, it shoots lightning out of its breath or out of its mouth.
Oh, we're playing Dauntless.
It's real quick, if I remember correctly. It's real big, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know about their conflict with like giants and dragons, or no?
Yeah, you would know about that too. Yeah, I was about to bring that up, but you can.
They were engaged. They're enemies of giants and dragons. As you can see, look at the size. I mean, we don't want to fight that thing. It would easily kill all of us without much question. So
That's wonderful. Okay.
And I mean it, like, I know sometimes I'll say, oh, we don't want to fight the thing, it'll kill us.
No.
I'm being 100% honest
yeah.
and not exaggerating this time. We do not want to fight that thing. I'm scared of that thing. So...
Alright, so...
we don't want to wake it up.
Mirror or armor?
Armor.
Best you can guess from looking at this room, standing here in front of it.
No, the answer for both.
The pedestal appears to be missing two pieces that seem like they would function like keys. And you have passed by two locations that you've left unexplored. So, leaving that and knowing that you probably need to go into the armor room and the mirror room, that's actually where we're going to end it for the week. Because we're almost at we're about at time.
Yeah,
So
I don't know
think it's
why
a
we
good place.
pretended like we couldn't just figure out what was going on in both of those places. Like we were gonna just be able to bypass that.
Well, you could just try and attack the thing in the door and hope for the best. You can just fight your way through the door.
I'm not.
Yes, we do have options, and
I am not fighting a CR11 creature.
Some options suck real bad.
Listen, when I play games, I usually go explore everything and then make a decision.
Yes,
exactly. Fair. All right.
Then we start getting shit thrown at us.
I think the lightning breath would kill people.
Shit thrown at you? I was thrown at you.
Yulyanya was the shit.
Yulyanya was the shit this episode.
But here, for a 4th level party.
That's why it is.
I love it.
That's
so
why
much.
You don't have to fight it.
I know.
In fact, you can choose not to.
I love that.
All right. So thank you for joining us this week, everybody. We had a wonderful time. Glad to see you. We will see you again next week as we see just what they all do with this as they progress through the witches'
split up
mountain fortress.
One half.
Thank you for joining us.
Goes to the armor,
Had a lovely time.
the mirror.
Yeah, and we'll see you all next week.